Chapter 2281. Furthermore, when I defeated him as my master, I knew who his undead race was. However, at that time, his memories did not awaken, and it was said that he had failed his tribulation, causing him to die many times. Right now, he has to pass through some tribulation before he was able to regain his memories. Chen Shang said, "Oh right, he also has a twin brother, he looks exactly the same as him. The twin Sky Spill Master, this is only a pair in the undead divine race. It's good that they are still alive." Wu Ji sighed, looking very happy. "Senior Wu, you are also from the undead divine race, right? I already know about the matters in the undead divine race, and the reason I came here from very far away is to help my master and uncle master find their separated family members." Chen Shang said. "That's impossible, it's best if the undead divine race is scattered throughout. Your master and the others should have already told you the reason why the undead divine race was wiped out. You should also be clear about the consequences if we gather together." Wu Ji said. "If they were to gather together and be discovered, they would definitely be exterminated." Uaa suddenly ran out from the ring and shouted, "Senior, is my grandmother still alive?" Seeing that a small white cat had suddenly ran out with snow-white wings, Wu Ji shouted in joy, "Your Uaa, your grandmother talks about you often, and she thought that you would never come back. You being missing for so long made her worried. Answer me first, how is my grandmother now?" Uaa was also very worried about her grandmother, who was after all from undead divine race. "She's in the Star Moon divine race, but I don't know if I'll wake up again." Wu Ji thought about it for a long time before answering Uaa's question. "The immortal bloodline in her body has been extracted, and we have tried many times, such as channeling the immortal bloodline into her, but none of them managed to prevent the bloodline in her body from being regenerated. Right now, your grandfather is using the time secret inside the Star Moon divine race to seal her in a large array of time, so as to not let time pass and she will die forever." When Wu Ji talked about this matter, he was extremely saddened. It could be seen that Uaa's grandmother had a very high status in the undead divine race. Uaa was currently feeling very sad. Her loving grandmother was currently in a very bad state. "Chen Shang, you should be able to save my grandmother." Uaa suddenly thought of Chen Zhang's peerless alchemy skills. I will do my best to save your grandmother, don't worry." Senior Wu also said just now that she was sealed in the time formation, her condition is quite stable. Chen Shang rubbed Uaa's small head. At this moment, Wu Ji had already removed his wariness towards Chen Shang, and he could tell with a glance that Uaa was extremely reliant on Chen Shang. "That's right, Senior. Quickly state your conditions," Chen Shang said. "Well, we are now considered acquaintances." Wu Ji suddenly felt it difficult to speak. "Just say it, after you join us, there will be a lot of things that you need to do. In the future, you will also need to provide a lot of information." Chen Shang laughed. "Fine, give me 30 type and bone level Dan every year," Wu Ji said. "No problem," Chen Shang agreed immediately. This was simply nothing to him. "Ah, you promised so straightforwardly. Did I say too little?" Wu Ji was startled, then laughed. Although he was a grandmaster of Sky Spill in the undead divine race, he still lacked divine pills, let alone the fact that the entire undead divine race was already extinct. "Chen Shang, what exactly is your goal in establishing such a power? Is it to make it easier to collect divine medicines, or do you have some other purpose?" Wu Ji was extremely curious, he already knew what Chen Shang was doing in the Great Heaven School. It's mainly because the big shots in Star Law Divine Realm are not used to it right now. Also, I'm a pill god, so I normally would like to sell some divine pills, but under the control of those big powers, I can only do it quietly like a mouse. Chen Shang said, "I can refine high-level divine pellets, and in order to collect the divine pellets, I need to use divine pellets to exchange with them. However, if those enforcers find out about this, it will be very troublesome. The other reason is to help Uaa, my master and the others, and to avoid being hunted down in the future. Those fellows all had the intention of killing the god race for their longevity, and they themselves have already violated the rules of the Star Law Divine Realm. As the enforcers, they definitely won't punish themselves, so I have to punish them." Wu Ji repeatedly nodded his head. He was quite confident in Chen Shang, since he had already recruited Dai Donggong, who was now a strong ranker who had already reached the peak, and was now joined by him. In the future, Chen Zhang's power would definitely be even stronger. Furthermore, Chen Shang was also an extremely powerful pill god. "Grandpa Wu, how are the cat race and star moon divine race's situation right now? You were asked. All good. Your father, this devil star, will occasionally cause trouble for you in those heavenly stars. Wu Ji kindly caressed Yue's soft fur. Senior, you will be our elder in the future. After we take down the everlasting mountain, we will decide on the name of a sect. Chen Shang said. Nodded his head. Joining a reliable power was something he had always wanted to do, but there was nothing suitable for him. Although Chen Shang had only just started, he felt that his future was very promising. Are all the other heavenly stars very powerful? Are the 3 remaining god tribes unable to destroy them? Chen Shang had already experienced the everlasting mountain's strength, he felt that it was only at that level. Wu Ji shook his head. There are a total of 12 heaven stage stars and one of them is an unparalleled star. There are only 11 people present, and Wang Ancient Heavenly Star is the weakest among them. This is mainly due to the management of the everlasting mountain for many years, and it has been declining by quite a bit. Furthermore, Dai Donggong is considered a junior, the other 10 Heavenly Star Realm experts are all seniors from the past. Back then, when they surrounded and killed our undead divine race, Dai Donggong did not join them, and because of that, he was isolated by the 10 great heavenly stars, which caused the Dan God Institute and the elders to become angry, and he felt sorry for me because he did not help the undead divine race back then. Wu Ji sighed. Actually, I shouldn't blame him. If he were to help undead divine race, his entire clan would be annihilated, and even if he were to help us, it would be to no avail. 10 great heavenly stars' surprise attack was simply too fast, so fast that the other 3 god clans were unable to react in time and were completely exterminated. Yu said, with the 10 great heavenly stars joining hands, the 3 remaining god tribes are no match for us. Moreover, after being sealed and hidden for so many years, the 3 god tribes will gradually decline. Exactly, the people from the 3 god tribes don't dare to casually walk around, especially since the god race's characteristics are very obvious. If they were discovered, they would definitely be taken away. Wu Ji said angrily, that group of bastards, even if they can live for an unlimited amount of time, sooner or later, they will all die. Chapter 2282. Yuea and Wu Ji both felt that the 3 great god clans were extremely weak and it was extremely difficult to reverse the situation. After all, the 10 great heavenly stars was simply too powerful. Are they really that powerful? Chen Shang asked. He did not have any idea how strong the 10 great heavenly stars was. Very powerful. There are only 3 peak divine lords, but within the 10 great heavenly stars, there are more than 30 of them. Adding all the other small and medium-sized forces, if you add them all together, there are still 1 to 200, and this Wang Ancient Heavenly Star can be counted with one hand. Wu Ji said. Now you know how strong the 10 great heavenly stars is when they join forces, right? They're probably close to 1,000 or so peak divine lord. Yu said. There are really a lot of peak divine lords. Chen Zhang's face was also filled with surprise. The population of one heavenly star is several hundred billion, and they are all elites that have distinguished themselves from the countless Earth stage stars as profound rank stars to enter the heavenly star realm. How come over the years, it's normal for there to be 200 peak divine lords? Wu Ji said, in the entire star law divine realm, there are many stars that exist, and there are hundreds of millions of people. However, the peak divine lord only has 1,000, so this is considered few. Chen Shang scratched his head. Why are there so few Wang Ancient Heavenly Stars? Wu Ji said, it has something to do with the Everlasting Mountain. The Everlasting Mountains are very selfish, they control all the divine pellets themselves, and they have very strict control over them as well, do not allow other small and medium-sized forces to have large-scale pellets business, and the divine pellets refined by their Dan God Institutes are all provided to the inner sect disciples, and the majority of the inner sect disciples are just a bunch of pigs, they can't be raised up no matter how much they raise. Sadly, many of Everlasting Mountain's outstanding outer sect disciples are treated as slaves and are tricked by them into hunting special god beast. They went to risk their lives to look for divine medicine, and after many years of death, there are not many experts in Everlasting Mountain who want to stay here anymore and run to other heavenly stars. Yuea said, among all the Wang Ancient Heavenly Stars, the most difficult thing to become is most likely to be the bones. Amongst the Wang Ancient Heavenly Stars, the one with the most control over the bone level Dan is the one who dies the most. Chen Shang laughed. In the future, this situation will be changed, but now, we have to get rid of this group of bastards from Everlasting Mountain. Wu Ji felt that they had stayed inside for a little too long. There were still Dai Donggong and Huang Jintian waiting for them in the outer sect. After Chen Shang and the others walked out, Dai Donggong hurriedly asked, "We reached a conclusion." Chen Shang smiled and nodded. "From now on he is Elder Wu." Huang Jintian immediately laughed. "Elder Wu, welcome to our clan, I am Elder Huang." Chen Shang remembered that he hadn't even talked about being an elder to Huang Jintian before she asked him to, but he had already become one. Of course, Chen Shang didn't say anything. "You should be considered a junior of mine, but your status is actually the same as mine." "But, forget it," Wu Ji laughed. It seems that he had already secretly communicated with Huang Jintian through sound transmission. Just like this, Chen Shang, the young leader, and 3 elders swaggered down the street, returning to the villa. Returning to the villa, Chen Shang met with the 3 elders for a meeting. "Elder Dai, you should have mastered a lot of cultivation techniques when you were in the Everlasting Mountain, right? Next, you should familiarize yourself with the disciples, impart them the appropriate cultivation techniques according to their circumstances, and guide them in their cultivation from time to time. Also, you are still the refiner. If you have the conditions, you can help them refine the divine artifacts and armor." Chen Shang said. "That's no problem. Right now, they are all in closed-door training. When they come out, I will call them over and properly guide them." Dai Donggong nodded. "Elder Wu, you will be responsible for strengthening the villa's defense first, and then, you will do what you've done previously. You will inquire about the whereabouts of the high-grade divine medicine, and then, you will instruct the others to think of ways to get their hands on it." Wu Ji nodded his head. He had gotten 30 type and bone level Dan a year, which was a very generous treatment, because type and bone level Dan were very precious. "Me?" Huang Jintian asked quickly. "For example, the source of their divine medicine, and whether those elders and pill gods of the Everlasting Mountain have gone out or not. You can first communicate with the Elder Dai, and then ask Hua Lang to find a few people who are more knowledgeable in this field to work with you." Chen Shang said. "When it's almost time, we will have to take action against Everlasting Mountain, so it's more useful to first understand Everlasting Mountain." Wu Ji nodded his head. "I can also provide some help on this point. Great Heaven School had just been destroyed, so they will definitely take action. That's about it. This is our main direction right now. First, we should stabilize, develop, and get to know the enemy. After that, we can eliminate the enemy and expand." Chen Shang said. "My main job now is to refine pills. As long as I use the divine pellets in the right place, they will be of great use to me." "Oh right, Master, Hua Lang said that there was a guy who betrayed them. When the time comes, we can settle this matter with him and have Hua Lang and the others spread the news of the various insides of the Everlasting Mountain." Chen Shang looked at Dai Donggong and asked, "Elder Dai, do you want to tell Everlasting Mountain that you are no longer the leader?" Dai Donggong said, "I do, but I have to cooperate with Hua Lang and the others' promotion. At that time, I will announce my retreat, and that way, the Everlasting Mountain will definitely fall, and it will be hard for them to push out a good leader. Then we'll do it for now. I'll go back to concoct pills first. Master, if Teng Yang and Jingzi come back, let me know immediately." Chen Shang had already used up both his Zongpin Dan S, which were what he currently needed the most. Since Jingzi and Teng Yang had not come back yet, he could only use the alive slain method to duplicate a divine medicine to refine them. The outer sect disciples who had just joined were all elites. Their bones S had all stopped for a long time, and now that they had obtained good bone level Dan S, they could quickly break through and condense new bones. When they came out of closed-door cultivation, they all went to Wu Ji to inquire about the whereabouts of the special god beast. After killing the special god beast and obtaining its corpse, one could sell it for Shen Yuan Stone S. Most of the materials on special god beast S could be used for smithing, which was very important for a large force. Furthermore, their newly born bones required a large amount of divine soul to be assimilated into the body, so they could only be obtained from special god beast S. The next few months, Chen Shang was still refining Zongpin bone level Dan S. Originally, he had planned to play a good role in refining the bone level fruit, but now, he could only delay it. Chapter 2283. Pure Text Online. Read local domain name mobile phone synchronous read. Please visit. Chen Shang spent a few months' time refining a lot of bone level Dan. At the moment, he was also a little worried, because he had taken so long to refine all of them, so he was afraid that the disciples who had just joined would be dissatisfied. However, when he came out from seclusion, he realized that his worries were unnecessary. Moreover, the quality was still so good. In the past, when they were in the everlasting mountain, although they could obtain a few Taipan Dan, they were all useless to them. The quality was extremely bad, and there were no bone-level Dan that were useful, so they were all trash that the Dan God Institute did not want. Jingzi and Teng Yang had already returned. The moment Chen Shang came out of seclusion, he immediately ordered Hua Lang to call them over. Very quickly, Teng Yang and Jingzi arrived at the hall. Seeing their smiling faces, they knew that the harvest these past few days was extremely bountiful. We ran all over the heaven stage stars and the various great ground-level stars and bought a large amount of divine medicine that was needed by bone-level Dan. Teng Yang laughed, "Leader, now we won't be worrying about the divine medicines for a long time, we're just looking at you." Jingzi took out a storage ring and handed it over to Chen Shang. Chen Shang took a look at it and immediately laughed. "There's really a lot of them, there's even low rank high rank, and there's even a few hundred of low rank ones. Not bad at all." Chen Shang was still very surprised. He carefully looked at the divine medicines in his storage ring. The low-rank ones were the most, and were all divided into groups. There were more than 100,000 of them, while the middle-rank ones had only a little more than 50,000, the upper-rank ones had a little more than 30,000. "Don't you know that you are plundering so much?" Chen Shang asked. "If we were to be discovered by them, you all would be in danger." "Of course they know, but we're not vegetarians either. It's not that easy to capture us." Teng Yang laughed out loud. Although that group of bastards had fast reactions, they still underestimated us. When they chased after us, we killed a few of them. There were so many stars in the Star Law Divine Realm, and Jingzi and Teng Yang had sold those more than 100 Shengpin bone-level Dan from the beginning in exchange for a large number of Shen Yuan Stone S. They were teleported to other stars and bought them with huge amounts of gold, so it was very quickly possible to purchase them. "You have probably used up all your Shengpin bone-level Dan, but with your current situation, normal Shengpin bone-level Dan shouldn't be suitable for you. I will help you refine a bone-level Dan that fits your current situation." Chen Shang said. Then he asked Teng Yang and Jingzi about the current situation of their bones in detail. After understanding the situation, he immediately entered the secret room to refine pills. Half a day later, he came out and gave Teng Yang and Jingzi a jade box each, containing 20 Shengpin bone-level Dan S. These bone-level Dan S were all of extremely high quality. Teng Yang and Jingzi could immediately tell that it was their dream many years ago to have the pill god refine a divine pellet for them. They didn't expect it to actually happen now. "Let's go cultivate our bones first. We need more peak divine Lord S to support us." Chen Shang laughed. "Thank you, leader." Teng Yang and Jingzi hurriedly thanked him and then left. Chen Shang found Dai Donggong, who was instructing his disciple in cultivation. After half an hour, Dai Donggong finally had the time. "Elder Dai, this is the bone-level Dan that I just refined. Distribute it according to the situation." Chen Shang gave Dai Donggong 2 storage bag S. The middle grade one has 300, the upper grade 200, and then the upper grade, 50 pellets. Chen Shang spent the most time on the Taipan bone-level Dan, because he needed a lot of purple pearls to duplicate it, and the upper grade one was the same. However, there was no need to go through all that trouble, because Jingzi and Teng Yang had just bought back a large amount. "Leader, you told me to find a better place last time. I have already found it. That valley has many different kinds of flowers and the environment is very good. Could it be that we are going to move there?" When Feng Wu found out that Chen Shang had come out of seclusion, he immediately looked for him. "Not really." Chen Shang smiled mysteriously. "You will know about it in the future. For the time being, you should observe that place to see if there are any other flaws." Feng Wu nodded his head, and said, "Feng Clan has been very close to Everlasting Mountain for this period of time, and many powers similar to Feng Clan have allied themselves with Everlasting Mountain. The last time Great Heaven School was annihilated, it didn't seem to have had any effect." Dai Donggong said, "There is indeed an impact, at least many people have other thoughts about the Everlasting Mountain, and during this period of time, I have also spread the news of me leaving the Everlasting Mountain. There is nothing that can be done about it even for a power like the Feng Clan. If he does not form an alliance with the Everlasting Mountain, then he will definitely be ignored by the Everlasting Mountain, and at that time they will not even be able to obtain bone-level Dan." Chen Shang said, "What we need now is strength. As long as we have enough strength, we will start selling these divine pellets. If Everlasting Mountain dares to cause trouble, we will have absolute power to send them away." Dai Donggong nodded his head. He did not know what kind of terrifying refining technique Chen Shang had. It was very fast and the quality was very good. Hearing that Chen Shang wanted to sell the divine pills, he knew that Chen Shang would have even more divine pills in the future. The purpose of selling these divine pellets was, on the one hand, to increase the strength of the entire Wang Ancient Heavenly Star and to rope the other powers of the Wang Ancient Heavenly Star together. Your uncle master is back. Do you want to talk to him? Feng Wu had originally brought three Lotus Dan with him to the Nine Heaven world. But now, he was able to return, which meant that his speed was already extremely fast. Chen Shang followed Feng Wu to Huang Yantian's residence, where a few youths were receiving his guidance. Huang Yantian was now considered an elder here. In order to differentiate himself from Huang Jintian, this elder Huang, everyone called him Elder Yantian. Senior Master, has Shui Yi's poison been cured? Chen Shang immediately asked when he saw Huang Yantian. It's already been undone, she's alive and kicking again, and she still clamored to come with me to find you. But LV Kilian did not let her, so she could obediently stay in Hundreds of Flowers village to cultivate. Huang Yantian patted Chen Zhang's shoulder, and laughed. Right now, they are very peaceful, you can stay here and develop peacefully, waiting for them to come over. Back then, when Chen Shang had asked Huang Yantian to bring back some things, he had told them about the situation here in detail, and wanted them to think of a way to quickly level up and cultivate to the peak of the 100 Gods levels 9 bones. Only by doing this would it be safer to bring a force over. LV Kilian's Hundreds of Flowers village had a team of pill gods, so they condensed more purple pearls as well, so copying the bone level Dan would be much faster than Chen Shang alone. Furthermore, Chen Shang had also sent the type and bone level Dan along with the top quality 9 yin and yang Dan's divine medicine over, allowing them to cultivate their divine deity to the peak faster and faster. Chapter 2284. Pure Text Online. Read local domain name mobile phone synchronous read please visit. Now, Chen Shang felt much more relaxed. Bone level Dan were no longer in short supply, and Teng Yang and Jingzi had also brought back so many divine medicines. If he needed them, he could quickly refine them. Chen Shang and Feng Wu walked in the middle of the villa and chatted with her for a while. Suddenly, they met a group of men who returned in a rage. What's going on? Why is there so much anger? Chen Shang asked with a smile. Nothing. A man was about to say something, but after some thought, he did not say it. To think that you're even a man. What kind of thing are you speaking to me about? Hurry up and tell me. Are you being bullied outside? You were worried that I would laugh at you, so you didn't dare to say it out loud. Chen Shang patted the man's shoulder and laughed. Leader, we were indeed bullied. If not for Hua Lang's warning to us not to act recklessly, we would have already fought with our lives on the line. The man said. Chen Shang nodded his head. Hua Lang is right, if we meet with this kind of situation, if we cannot win, we can run, and then come back to call for help. There is nothing to joke about. Who exactly is bullying us? Another big man said. Let's go hunt the special god beast and kill them. We were surprised to find out that the special god beast's lair. After going to his lair, we found 2 large watermelons that were like white jade, but at this time, a few of them ran out and stole them. They are all very strong, we can't beat them, and 2 of our brothers were injured by them. A large watermelon the size of white jade, and one that was guarded by special god beast, one could tell that it was a higher level divine medicine. Do you know where those people came from? Chen Shang asked. They all shook their heads. Then do you still remember their appearances, as well as the moves they used in battle? Chen Shang asked again. Seeing them nod their heads, Chen Shang said, go find Elder Wu and tell them the details. If we find out who those people are, I will personally help you take back those things, and teach them a lesson. You actually dare to snatch our things. The few men immediately went to find Wu Ji, and not long after, Wu Ji arrived at Chen Zhang's residence. Elder Wu, this is what I promised you. I'll give you 30 type and bone level Dan every year. Chen Shang handed the type and bone level Dan over to Wu Ji. He refined it so quickly, he's really amazing. Wu Ji chuckled as he kept the type and bone level Dan and continued speaking. Those people who stole that group of brats should be the Ling Tian school disciples of the nearby Ling Tian city. These people have always been arrogant, and have already allied themselves with the everlasting mountain, so they're even more arrogant. Chen Shang nodded his head. I'll go look for Ling Tian city right now. They actually dare to rob our people. Are you going by yourself? Wu Ji asked. Of course. Chen Shang was still confident in his own strength, but at the moment, Wu Ji couldn't really see just how strong he was, so he was a little worried. Chen Shang was teleported from Kang Cloud City to Lingtian City, then to Lingtian School. Originally, Chen Shang was prepared to use some time to confirm whether the things were really stolen by the Lingtian School. But just as he arrived, he heard someone talking about the 2 Tianyu God Melon that the Lingtian School had just obtained. Tianyu God Melon is a heaven-grade divine medicine. It is said that eating one would allow the peak divine lord to extend their lifespan by 1,000 years. It is extremely precious. This Lingtian School is so lucky to actually be able to get to. I wonder where they got them from. It seems like they will definitely become friends with the peak divine lord because of these 2 Tianyu God Melon. It was Chen Zhang's first time hearing of a Tianyu God Melon. After all, this was a heaven-grade divine medicine, and was even rarer than king-grade. There is indeed such a miraculous pill that can increase one's lifespan. Refining it into a pill is definitely better than eating it directly. Chen Shang had already confirmed that the white jade watermelon was the so-called Tianyu God Melon, but it had been snatched away by the disciples of the Lingtian School. When he was walking on the road, he saw many elderly people rushing towards the Lingtian School. All of them looked like they were running out of gas, their lifespans were almost up. Now that they heard the Tianyu God Melon had appeared, they all rushed over. If they could get some, maybe they could even extend their lives a little, and if they could successfully break through the bottleneck they currently had, they could still live a long time. Even eating Tianyu God Melon could increase lifespan by 1,000 years. If one's cultivation was low, it would be increased by even more. However, Tianyu God Melon were heaven-grade divine medicines, they were extremely rare, and even if peak divine lord wanted to, it would be difficult to find them. As such, the group of elders that rushed over only held onto a sliver of hope. When Chen Shang arrived at the gate of the Lingtian School, although it was wide open, more than 10 big men were guarding it, preventing people from entering. Meanwhile, the old man from the outer sect shouted in a weak voice, hoping to let them see the divine melon. I heard that the other great leaders of the heavenly star realm are already on their way, and that those guys are much stronger than the everlasting mountain. Although the Lingtian School is Everlasting Mountain's ally, if the other great leaders of the heavenly star realm want him, the Lingtian School would not dare to not give it to them. Wang Ancient Heavenly Star is too weak, this time Everlasting Mountain can only swallow his anger. The other big shots of the heavenly star realm had all made their moves, causing Chen Shang to be secretly shocked. But after thinking about it for a bit, in order to increase their lifespans, the other big shots of the heavenly stars had all ignored their rules, and directly started a massacre of the undead divine race. You have to hurry up. If the experts from the peak divine lord come and take him away, you might not have the chance. Yue said, this divine melon definitely can't fall into the hands of those bastards. Chen Shang nodded his head and turned into a wisp of smoke, entering the Lingtian School from high up in the sky. Using spatial teleportation, he easily broke through the Lingtian School's defensive array and entered the Lingtian School. After sneaking in, he immediately released hundreds of threads of divine soul to search, and very quickly, he found an elder. He immediately teleported next to the elder and used a mental attack to knock him out, then used the soul-absorbing devil spell to search his memories, and very quickly, he found out where the 2 Tianyu God Melon were hiding. Lingtian School's overall strength was not very strong, the elders here only had around 80 or so divine deity. Chen Shang could easily put them on the ground. Lingtian School has already formed an alliance with Everlasting Mountain, but he's actually kneeling in front of another heavenly star great leader. It looks like Lingtian School will kneel to whoever has the strongest fist, said. At this time, he had arrived at the back mountain of the Lingtian School. There were dozens of tall mountains there, and the Tianyu God Melon were hiding in one of them. Chen Shang found a lot of useful things from the elder's memories. Although the elder was not strong, he was still considered strong in the Lingtian School, so he knew a lot of secrets. Chapter 2285. Chen Shang teleported to the outer mountain gate and used the Dao Heart Eye to penetrate the entire mountain. Not long after, he found the location of the Tianyu God Melon and hid in the middle of the mountain. I didn't see any caves, they must have been sealed up. Even so, it was not difficult for Chen Shang. He teleported to the stone room in the middle of the mountain. Lingtian School was only barely a medium-sized sect, the formation barrier was something that was very shallow, Chen Shang could really break through it. Who is it? When Chen Shang appeared in the stone room, he suddenly heard someone shouting, and then the cold sword pierced over. He teleported to avoid it, and at the same time used a technique to retrieve the 2 divine seeds that were sealed in the middle of the stone room. The seal did not seal the space, so Chen Shang could easily retrieve it using the power of space. You're the one who stole our divine gourds, you should know that. Chen Shang laughed coldly, I am only helping my sect's disciples to retrieve it. So what, even if we can get it, it's all because of our ability. You can take it back now, but don't be too pleased with yourself. I have already sent a sound transmission to all the elders, and the Purple Yuan Heavenly Star S of the Purple Yuan Heavenly Star will be coming over very soon. At that time, you will only have to die. The man in charge of protecting the divine gourd sneered. He wasn't worried at all. Ha ha, Chen Shang laughed. I came so easily, and I was able to leave so easily. Did you bring some confidence to think you can trap me? After Chen Shang finished speaking, he teleported away. Right now he was floating in the air, unleashing fire cloud palm on the entire Lingtian school below him. The giant palm formed by soaring flames covered the entire Lingtian school. When it smashed down, the violent heat exploded, burning the entire structure of the Lingtian school. Realizing that something was wrong, the disciples of the Lingtian school all ran out. Seeing the gigantic flame palms pressing down on them, they all howled and flew away from the Lingtian school. Chen Shang teleported to a place far away from Lingtian city and watched as the fire cloud palm descended and ignited the entire Lingtian school in a sea of flames. Only then did he nod his head in satisfaction and leave Lingtian city. Uaa, have you heard of Purple Yuan sect? It does not sound very domineering, but it looks like he has quite the good strength. Otherwise, he would not dare to come to Everlasting Mountain's territory and directly ask for the divine gourd. Chen Shang asked. If the Purple Yuan sect came and found out that the divine gourd had been stolen, he would definitely investigate him immediately. He had previously used the fire cloud palm in the Great Heaven School, so he would definitely link these two matters together. However, it would be difficult to find out his identity. Uaa, there are still quite a few purple pearls, right? Copy the divine melon. Those two divine melon were obtained by those guys, so I have to return it to them. Chen Shang said. He did not plan on embezzling it, otherwise, he would be no different from a Dan God Institute. Chen Shang very quickly returned to the Kang Cloud City's villa, and gathered Dai Donggong, Wu Ji, Huang Jintian, and Huang Yantian over. At the same time, there were those few men. This must be the white jade watermelon you found. Chen Shang laughed, and then passed it to one of the big-sized men. Right, leader, your movements are really nimble, you found it so quickly. The big-sized man said with a look of admiration. He was also extremely curious how Chen Shang obtained it. It seems to be the legendary Tianyu God melon. The knowledgeable Wu Ji frowned, but he could not confirm, because such a thing was extremely rare, and he could not believe that it would appear right in front of his eyes. Tianyu God melon, isn't this thing extinct? Dai Donggong was also shocked. Chen Shang nodded, these are Tianyu God melon. In order to obtain these two divine gourds, Purple Yuan Heavenly Star S of the Purple Yuan Heavenly Star have all hurried over. The big man said in shock, to think that it would be such a precious thing. Then we don't need it, leader, you keep it. Quote. I have already taken the seed. In the future, I can plant it, but you can keep it for yourselves. Of course, it would be best if it could be refined into a pill. I feel like I can at least refine 5 heaven-grade divine pills with such a big head. However, I still do not know how to refine a heaven-grade divine pill. Chen Shang laughed. He had already copied one, so he did not need it anymore. Since Wu Ji was an undead divine race, there was no need for him to die either. Dai Donggong had a long life, he didn't have much of an opinion on divine cucumber. You don't want the leader, but it's useless for us to keep it. We can still live for a long time, so we don't need to use it to extend our lives. The few of them nodded their heads, they were sincerely giving it to Chen Shang. Alright, I'll accept it. Come look for me when you find your life short. Chen Shang laughed, and took the 2 divine gourds, and then gave quite a few shopping bone-level danes, each with 100 of these. These divine pills can be exchanged for Shen Yuan Stone S, but you need to be careful when selling them. If you are worried, you can get Elder Wu to help you sell them. Chen Shang laughed. To Chen Shang, shopping bone-level dan were the easiest to get. Teng Yang and Jingzi had gotten a lot of divine medicines, which he could casually refine for a very long time. These people were already very happy when they found out that Chen Shang was trying to take revenge for them. What they wanted was this sense of belonging, to have someone stand up for them when they were bullied, and it was even leader. Yet Chen Shang still gave them so many shopping bone-level dans, making them extremely happy. This was enough for them to take a very long time. Elder Wu, you should pay attention to the movements of the Ling Tian school during this period of time. I didn't expect you to clash with the Purple Yuan Heavenly Star so quickly. Chen Shang chuckled. This guy must be very depressed. He came all the way here and thought he could get a divine pill to increase his lifespan. I didn't expect him to come for nothing. At this moment, Wu Ji also felt very relieved. This bastard had made quite a few moves against our clansmen back then. It's just that we don't know how many people he brought. Chen Shang immediately looked at Dai Donggong, and a glint flashed past his eyes. I think it's feasible. Why don't the three of us move out and see if we can kill him? Chen Shang was a little excited. If he came by himself, it shouldn't be difficult for the three of us to kill him if we join hands. Wu Ji took a deep breath. At this moment he was also somewhat excited. This is indeed an opportunity. He definitely doesn't think that Everlasting Mountain has the guts to attack them, but we can. Dai Donggong clenched his fists. Although getting rid of this leader will not cause chaos in the Purple Yuan sect, it will increase the pressure on the Everlasting Mountain because the leader died here. Alright, I'll take a look at Ling Tian City now and try my best to kill that fellow. Chen Shang was already about to make his move. He also wanted to personally see how strong this of the Heavenly Star Realm was. Chapter 2286. Wu Ji took out a crystal ball. He pressed both hands onto the crystal ball and closed his eyes. Let me first ask my clone in Ling Tian City to see what's going on in Ling Tian City. Wu Ji said. Could it be the Heaven's Divination avatar in the middle of teleportation? Huang Jintian said in shock. What is the Sky Spill avatar? Chen Shang was so surprised to see the Huang Jintian brothers. He knew that the Sky Spill avatar was very powerful. Dai Donggong was also very curious. Looking at Huang Jintian, he hoped that he could answer. This is an extremely powerful natural ability of the Sky Spill Master. He can have countless clones, and these clones can also live their own lives. They are no different from normal people, and these clones don't even know that they are clones. When the main body needs it, we can use its Sky Spill power to search the memories of the avatar and learn a lot of things. Huang Yantian said. Those clones will never know that they are clones. I don't know how many clones Elder Wu has in the Star Law Divine Realm. I always thought that this was just a legend among the Sky Spill Master. I didn't think that it would actually exist. Huang Jintian exclaimed. No wonder Elder Wu knows so many things. I had thought that Elder Wu had calculated it using the Heaven Extended method, but who would have thought that he was actually relying on a doppelganger? Chen Shang was also amazed that there was such a mystical body-splitting technique. Wu Ji chuckled. I can also use the Heaven Extended method to calculate sometimes. However, in order to find out more information, I have to use my clones rather quickly. Over the years, I have produced over 100,000 clones in various parts of the Star Law Divine Realm, and among them, there are even more than a few dozen whose strength has reached 90 divine deity. In order to keep these clones, I need a lot of bone-level Dan. Quote. Chen Shang and the others immediately took in a breath of cold air. Over 100 clones was already shocking enough, but this Wu Ji had more than 100,000 clones. However, there are strong and weak clones, so it's difficult to nurture them. Because we are not real humans, there are more or less problems. Unstable ones will even self-destruct. Wu Ji said, all these years, I have only been able to cultivate around 1,000 stable clones with more potential. Of course, if I wanted to, they could all integrate with me. I can also inculcate in them the goal I gave them in the depths of their consciousness, so that they will work towards that goal. Quote. Dai Donggong sighed, all of you god races have such terrifying innate abilities. It's a bit unfair. Quote. Wu Ji laughed bitterly, you can't say that, our undead divine race, wasn't our clan exterminated. Purple Yuan sect is here, he's in a rage right now, we can head to Ling Tian City right now. Quote. This Purple Yuan sect was one of the people who massacred the undead divine race back then. At this moment, Wu Ji was extremely happy because this was their chance. He came by himself. If the three of us join forces, we'll definitely be able to take him down. Wu Ji laughed coldly, this guy used our clansman's blood to continue living, let him return it now. Chen Shang said, do you have any plans? If that guy can't find the divine gourd, will he leave immediately? Quote. Wu Ji said, that won't happen, because an elder of the Ling Tian school told him to wait a bit, they have already investigated and will get the results soon. At that time, as long as he makes a move, they will be able to take him back. Let's go to Lingtian City now. Dai Donggong said. Chen Shang, Wu Ji and the rest all changed their appearances briefly before they headed towards Lingtian City through the transmission array. It's better to lure him out of the city. When the time comes, we can consume some of his strength. If we start a war in Lingtian City, the entire city will be destroyed. Wu Ji said. He also did not like killing, especially those who had nothing to do with it. The Purple Yuan sect's name is Kai Yuan, and he cultivates a strange type of purple-colored divine lightning that uses lightning-attributed godly strength. Everyone be careful, when his entire body is filled with purple qi, he is going to use that strange type of divine lightning. Wu Ji said, I'll go and lure him out of the city now. Wait for me at the foot of the mountain outside the city. Chen Shang and Dai Donggong immediately left the city, and quickly arrived at the mountain peak that Wu Ji had pointed out just now. This is my first time fighting with a peak divine lord ranker, I'm a bit nervous. Chen Shang laughed. Although he said that, he did not look nervous at all. Although this Purple Yuan sect is the first batch of experts, it does not mean that he is strong. I am a peak divine lord belonging to the younger generation, even if there is a gap between us, the gap will not be too wide. At that time, with me controlling him, you and Elder Wu can work together and definitely kill him. Dai Donggong laughed. Don't be too nervous, as long as Kai Yuan is me, he won't be a problem. At peak divine lord's level, no one can break through, and no one can compare in strength, so the only thing left to do now is which side will have the most people. Quote. Is there really no one in the Elder Dai who can break through to the peak of the realm? What would happen if I were to break through? Chen Shang was very curious about this. Back then, my master had left very early on. He said that he was going to look for longevity and break through to the peak of perfection, but he didn't return for many years, and among the peak divine lord that were in the same group as him, none of them were able to break through. The Elder Dai shook his head. Chen Shang had only heard that in the undead divine race of the God clan, there was an old patriarch who had broken through, but after breaking through, he did not know what had happened. He's here. Dai Donggong's face suddenly became serious, and shouted. In the direction of Lingtian City, Wu Ji had turned into a blue light and was flying over quickly. However, a purple light was chasing closely behind him. Dai Donggong immediately released 3 array discs, stacked them together, and then opened the array disc. He released an extremely powerful barrier, just in case Kai Yuan ran away. Chen Shang looked at the 3 array discs, they were gradually disappearing, and he was unable to sense them, this way he could prevent the barrier from collapsing. At this time, Chen Shang and the others were inside the barrier, they could not go out, nor could others. The duration of this barrier is limited, everyone hurry up. Dai Donggong sent a sound transmission to Chen Shang and Wu Ji. After Wu Ji entered, Dai Donggong immediately rushed over, struck out with his palm, and dissolved the purple lightning that flew over. Chen Shang saw that Wu Ji's face was pale white, and there was even blood at the corner of his mouth. Wu Ji was actually injured. Although he was using 100 gods level, the difference between the number of his bones and Kai Yuan's allowed him to be weaker than him as a whole. When he was running over, he was injured by Kai Yuan. Dai Xuan, this is. I understand, you want to kill me. Haha, you little scoundrel left the everlasting mountain because you wanted to create your own sect, right? I knew that you wouldn't be able to control the crafty side of the Dan God Institute back then. When Kai Yuan saw Dai Donggong, he laughed and was not one bit surprised. As for the everlasting mountain, the other heavenly stars were also quite concerned about them, so they knew about the current situation in the everlasting mountain. Chapter 2287. Chen Shang looked at Wu Ji and immediately guessed that Wu Ji had revealed his identity as the undead divine race, which was why he was able to lure Kai Yuan over. Kai Yuan had participated in the massacre of the undead divine race, so it was normal for Wu Ji to have attacked him earlier, therefore he immediately chased after him. Dai Zi, do you think you and these 2 little scum can kill me? You are too naive, don't think that just because you are a peak divine lord, you can be on par with me. I'll let you know what a difference is now. Kai Yuan's wrinkled face was filled with sneer and disdain. Dai Donggong was younger than him by a generation and was just a child in his eyes, so he did not look down on Dai Donggong at all. Furthermore, at that time when Dai Donggong did not participate in the slaughter of the undead divine race, they had already seen how unhappy Dai Donggong was. Now that there was a chance, they wanted to teach him a lesson. Dai Donggong sneered, Kai Yuan, you should look in your own mirror and see how many years you have left to live. No matter how strong you are, in the end, aren't you still going to die from the torture of time? He knew Chen Zhang's strength, but he was sure that Chen Shang was not peak Divine Lord. As long as he did not reach that level, it would be difficult for him to defeat Kai Yuan. He had just experienced it himself. He felt that he himself was already very strong. Although he had almost reached the peak Divine Lord realm, he was injured after being hit by Kai Yuan. And that was only if Kai Yuan did not want to kill him, because Kai Yuan needed the immortal bloodline in his body to increase his lifespan. Let's go to the side, let the elder Dai go first. Wu Ji said to Chen Shang before pulling Chen Shang to the edge of the barrier. Elder Dai, I thought that you had already established your own clan, but to think that you are only an elder. So who's your head? Is it that undead divine race? Kai Yuan looked at Wu Ji and Chen Shang. Don't worry, before you die, I will tell you who my leader is. You must be careful of him, he is very strong. Dai Donggong laughed sinisterly. He did not directly tell Kai Yuan that he was leader, he was worried that Kai Yuan would ignore everything and kill him immediately. Kai Yuan snorted, he was also secretly on guard. He obviously didn't think that the guy with the young face, Chen Shang, was a leader, so normally, people who could become big shots in power would become white-haired old men. What's more, the person who could make Dai Donggong this peak Divine Lord follow is definitely a peak Divine Lord. If he doesn't come now, he'll just give me a chance to kill you. I have to thank him. After Kai Yuan finished speaking, he suddenly opened his mouth, and a purple light surged out. It was actually purple lightning. This sudden attack made it difficult for Dai Donggong to defend against it. His chest was struck, and sent flying by the force of the blow. What terrifying purple lightning! Chen Shang exclaimed in his heart. Just now, when that purple lightning struck out, there was not even a trace of qi, yet it was able to cause such huge damage. If it wasn't for the fact that Dai Donggong was wearing a powerful divine armor, his body would definitely have been penetrated. Normally, when Kai Yuan unleashed such a powerful attack, it would set off an extremely berserk wave that would spread to the surroundings, but when Kai Yuan released the purple lightning just now, he did not do so. You overestimate yourself. This time, Dai Donggong could avoid all of them. But what made people feel strange was that after the few purple bolts of lightning struck the ground, they did not make any sound, as if the air had touched the ground and did not cause a huge commotion. Dai Donggong was not someone to be trifled with, he could repeatedly avoid the strange purple lightning. Holding onto his sword, he slashed out a few lines of blue sword qi, which transformed into numerous fierce beasts that pounced towards Kai Yuan from all directions. This Kai Yuan's purple lightning is indeed strange. When he released it earlier, seeing Dai Donggong suddenly dodge, he could immediately retract his strength and release it freely. Chen Shang analyzed the situation in his heart. Chen Shang also realized that Dai Donggong was very concentrated when he used his god power. The god power contained in his sword qi was very strong, but the target of this sword qi was only Kai Yuan. It would not cause any damage to anyone other than Kai Yuan. Is that all? Kai Yuan slapped the blue hand that was hitting him with a palm. Boom. Ru. Kai Yuan shattered all of Dai Donggong's powerful sword qi, and it released a loud explosion, causing the enchantment to vibrate. Feeling the incoming berserk wave, Chen Shang finally felt how terrifying Dai Donggong's sword qi was. Just now, it was only a blue light with no aura at all. Myriad God Mountain Seal. With a wave of his hand, the 100 gods level in Dai Donggong's body absorbed the energy of the divine sense sea and combined with his 9 divine deity, it instantly erupted with a powerful divine power, transforming into a gigantic mountain that appeared on Kai Yuan's head. This enormous mountain appeared in an instant and smashed down immediately. Kai Yuan had also expected that, with a loud shout, he would be pressed down. Boom. The moment the giant mountain fell to the ground, it unleashed a terrifying vibrating power. The surrounding ground suddenly split open, and cracks spread out in all directions. Lingtian City, which was still quite a distance away, was split into several pieces by the deep cracks. Little bastard, Kai Yuan bellowed, a burst of purple lightning covered the huge mountain. Bang! The instant that purple light flashed, the gigantic mountain disappeared. Kai Yuan, whose entire body was covered in purple lightning threads, had a face full of anger, which made his wrinkled face become even more terrifying, but he was currently in a very sorry state. PFF'd. Kai Yuan spat out a mouthful of blood. He did not expect Dai Donggong to actually know this terrifying forbidden technique. Chen Shang looked at Dai Donggong and realized that his expression was strange. He immediately understood that Dai Donggong had used up a lot of energy from the previous exchange, and just when he was about to move Dai Donggong, he did not expect Kai Yuan to turn into a thick purple lightning and charge at him. Ah! Dai Donggong screamed out, and flew towards Chen Shang and Wu Ji. Wu Ji immediately caught Dai Donggong, causing his face to turn pale white, blood flowing out of his mouth. His internal organs were severely injured. You actually let me suffer such heavy injuries, you little bastard. Kai Yuan was so angry that his entire body was trembling, both of his eyes had turned purple, with purple electric light flashing in them. His palms were releasing purple mist, which accompanied the crackling sound of the electric light. All of you, go die together. Both of Kai Yuan's hands clasped together and he threw himself forward. A streak of purple lightning the size of a vat charged over, and that powerful pressure actually shattered the entire barrier. The color of the sky and earth immediately changed, black clouds rolled about, and thunder rumbled everywhere. Chen Shang instantly released his Six Realms mirrors and faced Kai Yuan with the mirror, all of the divine power pouring into the Six Realms mirrors. The berserk purple lightning sent by the Peak Divine Lord struck the Six Realms mirrors and was reflected back by the mirror, striking Kai Yuan himself. Chapter 2288. After Kai Yuan was struck, his entire body became charred black and flew out, but he was still able to stand stably. After all, it was his own strength, he could absorb most of it, but he could not control himself and was injured. Just a moment ago, Kai Yuan had already suffered a very serious injury from Dai Donggong's forbidden technique, and now, his injuries were even more severe. Old bastard, it's time for you to die. When Chen Shang saw that Kai Yuan had been sent flying, he immediately teleported behind him, took out his heavenly magic sword and ruthlessly hacked at Kai Yuan. Although Kai Yuan was heavily injured, his reaction speed was fast to the point that it surprised Chen Shang. A purple shield suddenly appeared behind him, but he had underestimated Chen Zhang's heavenly magic sword. When Chen Zhang's heavenly magic sword hacked down, the divine shield was split apart like tofu, and Kai Yuan's body was smashed into two halves by the huge shield at the same time. Who are you? He did not die, but his old eyes were wide open. He had lived for so long, and had even found a way to increase his life force. He was unwilling to die just like this, and he still wanted to live. I am the leader. After Chen Shang finished speaking, he took out the Chuangshi God furnace, causing it to grow bigger and control the flames to spill out, causing the outside flames of the divine stove to burn. Kai Yuan's pupils contracted. He was filled with fear. He never thought that the powerful leader who could make Dai Donggong follow him would actually be a very young-looking brat. This caused him to be unwary of Chen Shang before, and he knew that he was dead for sure. Boom! The Chuangshi God furnace pressed down onto Kai Yuan's body and smashed it into sparks. Kai Yuan was a peak divine lord. After being killed he left behind a very strong power, but it was all absorbed by the Chuangshi God furnace. Chen Shang did not know why the Chuangshi God furnace wanted to absorb it, nor could he control it. Dai Donggong and Wu Ji were also shocked by Chen Shang. Chen Zhang's attacks had been extremely smooth, and in one breath, he killed Kai Yuan. Of course, the few divine tools in Chen Zhang's hands had also left a deep impression on them. They knew that they were definitely not doing something ordinary. They had always thought that they were shrewd and scheming, and also did not know how to do things well, but they never thought that Chen Shang had hidden himself even further. Even they had thought that Chen Shang was weak in front of the peak divine lord. It's really not easy to get rid of a peak divine lord. Chen Shang laughed and walked over to help Dai Donggong up. Leader, you are truly secretive. I thought you were only good at concocting pills. Dai Donggong laughed. While concocting pills, I will not forget to enhance my strength. I already have enough divine pills. Chen Shang said with a smile, then opened up a spatial passageway. Let's go back. He brought Dai Donggong and Wu Ji and stepped into the spatial tunnel, then directly returned to the villa. I'll go heal my wounds first. I have my own healing divine pellet, and will be able to recover very quickly. Elder Wu, take note of the movements of the Purple Yuan Heavenly Star during this period. Dai Donggong said. Purple Yuan sect died. The other elders will happily die, especially the one who took over leader. But in order to establish his might, he definitely has to take revenge for Kai Yuan. I am clear of this. Take a good rest, Elder Dai. Wu Ji nodded. His injuries were considered relatively light. Purple Yuan sect's leader is dead. This matter quickly spread to all the stars in the Star Law Divine Realm. The Wang ancient heavenly star was even more anxious, because the leader's leader died in his place, and there were even people who saw the huge mountain that appeared during the great battle. That was a forbidden technique that only the Everlasting Mountain knew how to use. However, Everlasting Mountain of the Everlasting Mountain had already left the Everlasting Mountain, and for some reason, they had started fighting with the Purple Yuan sect, and based on what happened before, everyone came to a conclusion that the fight might be related to the Tianyu God Melon. When Kai Yuan came, the Tianyu God Melon just happened to have been snatched away, and after that, the people from the Ling Tian school went to investigate. In the end, Kai Yuan and Dai Donggong fought outside the city. It was just that he did not think that the battle would last so long, and Kai Yuan was even killed, with not a complete corpse. Although Dai Donggong was a peak divine lord, he still belonged to the younger generation. Logically speaking, he was not as strong as the older generation, but he was able to kill Kai Yuan in a short amount of time. Earlier, there were rumors saying that Dai Donggong had always been suppressed by the Dan God Institute using divine pills, so he couldn't unleash his powerful strength. But not long after Dai Donggong left the Everlasting Mountain, he killed a powerhouse, shocking many people with his strength. Purple Yuan sect died here, the unlucky ones would be them, because at that time, Purple Yuan Heavenly Star would have a very good reason to run here. If Everlasting Mountain was not strong enough, he would be taken over in the end, and that was what they did not want to see. The Wang ancient Heavenly Star was so big, no one knew where Dai Donggong was hiding, and Huang Jintian and the rest had already ordered their disciples to return. After the news spread, they would then take action, because the Everlasting Mountain already knew that Chen Shang was secretly building up his power, and had pulled all the outer disciples over. Inside the secret room, Chen Shang looked at the black bone-level fruit and sighed, now we finally have time to see whether this bone-level fruit is a good thing or not. If that's not the case, I will definitely go to the Earth Dragon Star to find that Zhe Long. Quote, he used the precious divine lotus to exchange for it, he definitely could not lose out. Yu had already copied 2 of the bone-level fruits, so he was able to relax and give it a try. Eat and see first. If you can really condense bones, then use it to refine pills. Chen Shang took a big bite of the bone-level fruit. It was surprisingly sweet, the texture of the meat was like that of an apple, shocking him. How strange, previously when I was refining the 3 lotus dan, those lotus seeds were already very hard, and this bone-level fruit should be considered a divine medicine for king grade, to actually be so brittle. The fruit flesh was very tasty, he frowned, did I get cheated? That bastard Zhe Long just took out the weirdest fruit to trick me. Quote, with a few bites, he ate all the bone-level fruit and then felt the effects of the medicine. However, he did not discover any medicinal effects at all, and he felt more and more that he was being deceived. It shouldn't be fake, I used a lot of purple pearls when copying it, so I don't need that many normal fruits. Yu said. Then I'll try again. Chen Shang closed his eyes and continued to sense the medicinal power of the pill. He didn't know why, but he suddenly felt extremely tired, and unknowingly, he fell asleep. In the morning of the second day, when Chen Shang heard Yue calling out to him, he immediately opened his eyes. He then stretched lazily and praised, it's been a long time since I've slept so well. Wait, Chen Shang frowned and said, I should be condensing my bones. Why have I fallen asleep? Chapter 2289. Chen Shang thought about how he ate the bone-level fruit and started to look for the bones he had just condensed. Not long after, he exclaimed in surprise. He really condensed it. Chen Shang himself felt that it was inconceivable. In the past, when he was condensing bones, he would always suffer a pain worse than death, but this time, he was able to condense it so easily. Previously, Zhe Long had told him that it would be extremely easy for him to eat this bone-level fruit condensed bones. Now, Chen Shang completely believed in Zhe Long's words, he only felt that it was a bit incomprehensible, this kind of good thing was extremely precious, yet Zhe Long took it out to exchange. This guy took out such a good item. Could it be that he has a lot of these things himself? Chen Shang said, he could only think of this reason. He really condensed bones. Where is it? Your arms and legs, chest, back and even your eyes, all 7 of them have bones. Yue also did not expect Chen Shang to actually condense bones after waking up from a comfortable sleep. She also could not understand why, but she knew that this kind of bone-level fruit was just too great. Yue, the bones is in the head, is this okay? Chen Shang said, my head now has 4 bones. Before, 2 of them had congealed in his eyes, but now there are another 2 in his head. Quote. That's not strange, even a bone could condense bones. Generally speaking, legs are the most common places, and these things will definitely appear, but I am not clear about other places. Even if it is only on one's finger, bones is still able to unleash a very strong power. UAA laughed. You don't have to worry, at least your head is pretty good, at least it can make your head very hard. Also, your head is connected to the divine sense C, it can strengthen your divine sense C. Where do you want to go to find a good divine soul to go with the new one? This was Chen Zhang's 8th condensed divine deity, and also the same double bone level. It had been like this the previous 7 times, so he did not feel that anything was amiss. Why not ask Wu Ji? Just tell him directly, this is your 8th divine deity, and it's at the head. Let him help you see what kind of divine soul you want to find. UAA laughed. Even though Wu Ji isn't at his peak, his terrifying body-splitting technique is extremely useful. Moreover, he also knows about Heaven Extended Method. Chen Shang had only been in closed-door cultivation for a few days. After he left, he quickly found Wu Ji. Elder Wu, what are you busy with? Chen Shang walked over and saw that there were many names written on a piece of paper on Wu Ji's table. These are the cultivation techniques that I gathered through my avatar. I plan to make a detailed record to let our disciples learn according to their own circumstances. There are a lot of cultivation techniques, so I'm busy. Wu Ji laughed. He had a lot of clones, so he was able to enter and study in those sects. He learned many good techniques in those sects, and all of them could be recorded by Wu Ji. Elder Wu, tell me, what kind of divine soul would be considered appropriate if it was condensed on top of your skull? I don't know much about that. Chen Shang asked. Bones condensed in the skull. This is a very rare sight, you actually managed to form it. Wu Ji was shocked, and hurriedly put down the work by his hand, saying, quickly sit down, let me help you take a look. I do have a lot of research into bones, although bones will appear in the bones in various parts of the body, but they will rarely appear on the head. Chen Shang sat down and carefully caressed his head. He frowned his old eyebrows and tried to sense the bones on Chen Zhang's head. What's going on? Could I have sensed wrongly? There are actually 4 bones S. Wu Ji was shocked, and shouted, how is that possible? Shish. Chen Shang immediately made a gesture, why is that impossible? Leader, how much bones do you have now? Could it be that all 4 of them were stuck in his head? This situation is even rarer. If Wu Ji had not personally witnessed it, he definitely would not believe that a person would actually have 4 bones S in their head. Wu Ji also felt the 2 bones S in Chen Zhang's eyes, adding the one Chen Shang had just condensed, there were 4 of them. Well, it's my secret, don't you dare talk about it randomly, Elder Wu. Chen Shang said softly, he trusted Wu Ji quite a bit. Wu Ji nodded. I know, bones condensed in your head, do you have any other feelings? Or perhaps there have been other reactions that I have not seen in the past. Quote. Chen Shang shook his head. Other than the bones in his eyes, the 2 bones that he had condensed just now were extremely secretive, causing him to be unable to find them after he woke up. When I formed it, I had to look for it myself. It could be said that there was no reaction at all, but I tried it, and it can be used to absorb the God power in my divine sense C. Chen Shang said, Elder Wu, how do I usually use the bones in the head? I can't possibly be like the bones of fists and legs. When I am fighting, shouldn't I use my head to hit him? Chen Shang laughed. Of course not, it would look very stupid. Wu Ji laughed, the bones in the head is rather special. After it appears in the head, there will be a few special abilities that the bones of other parts do not have. First of all, it can make your head even harder. This is the same as the other bones, it can strengthen the location of your bones. Also, the bones at the head can also absorb and transform the divine power within the divine sense C, making it very strong and transferring it to other parts of the body. Quote. It's similar to the bones of your legs. Because it's convenient to attack, it's more direct in terms of usage. Chen Shang said. The bones in his eyes could also absorb the power of the divine sense C just like the bones in other places. Yes, and the front and back of the chest are also places where bones are usually condensed. This is mainly used as a defense. Wu Ji nodded, and the bones on the head can not only protect the head, it can also protect divine sense C. Many peak divine Lord S know how to attack, so they have to protect their own divine sense CS whenever they fight. Quote. If you have bones at your head, then you don't even need to deliberately protect yourself to be able to play an extremely powerful defensive role. This is a great benefit from having a head full of bones. Quote. Wu Ji patted Chen Zhang's head and continued to speak, the protection of the divine sense C is extremely important. For example, if your body was destroyed, and your divine sense C was well protected, then it would float along with your consciousness, and others wouldn't be able to kill your divine sense C. This way, you only need a little time to cultivate and be able to form your flesh once again, and your body will be as strong as it was before, and you will even have bones. Quote. This is recorded in an ancient book of our undead divine race. This is recorded in an ancient book of our undead divine race. Is there any other use for it besides this? Chen Shang felt that his divine sense C's defense was already very strong. This was because he had the bones of his eyes from before. Chapter 2290. Yes, as long as you cultivate up to the divine sense C, there will always be a divine sense C world, it's just that the majority of the things inside are your fantasies, and the space inside the divine sense C world is pitifully small. But if your head condenses bones, you can treat bones as the core of your divine sense C world, shape it into a core of the earth, and then absorb the energy of the outside world through your bones. Wu Ji said, laughing, this way, you can create a real divine sense C world. Real divine sense C world? Where would that be? Chen Shang said in surprise, if it was a real world, wouldn't others be able to break through space and enter? Or is this so-called real world like the space inside the storage magic treasure? Quote. No, the real world is real. You are the god of this world, so you can designate this world to follow your thoughts. Time, space, sunrise and sunset, stellar transposition, they could all be controlled at will. And you yourself entered your own real world, enjoying the benefits that this real world brings you. Wu Ji's face turned serious. According to the legends of our undead divine race, if one wants to break through the realm of peak divine lord, the head must condense bones. Our patriarch broke through the realm of peak divine lord, and now that he's dead, we all suspect that he's immersed himself in his own world. In his world, he can control everything, gather limitless amounts of resources, and bring him to the peak of another realm. Chen Shang was stunned. This sounded very mystical, but it did not sound like it was impossible, and he himself had experienced many miraculous things. For example, he himself had 2 divine sense CS, and Yue could not understand this. Wu Ji saw that Chen Shang was deep in thought, and said, earlier, some of the elders in our undead divine race were experimenting. For example, those elders who possess 9 divine deity, they would cripple a piece of their divine deity and then condense it using all sorts of methods. It's just that it's not easy to condense divine deity, and it's even more difficult to condense divine deity in the head. For so many years, our undead divine race had not seen any divine deity in the head. Quote. Chen Shang was thinking, of the 4 divine deities on his head, 2 were already in his eyes, and when they congealed, they fused with his eyes, and could be said to have broken away from his bones. And these 2 bones that had just been condensed out could be considered as the true head bones. He felt that every time he condensed the bones, it would always be the double bone level, and that was because he had the second divine sense C. If he were to use the bones as the equivalent of the core of the earth, then of the 2 bones that had just condensed in his head, one would belong to him, the core of the second divine sense C. Chen Zhang's control over the divine sense C had always been strong. For example, he had previously tried to refine pills inside the divine sense C. Although the divine sense C contained a very powerful divine power, the inside was extremely weak. To release a magic method furnace from the divine sense C that could explode at any time to refine pills, this was equivalent to suicide. But Chen Shang had done it, and his divine sense C was also very stable, allowing him to do such a dangerous thing. All along, divine sense C had reflected the yearning in one's heart. Right now, this divine sense C of Chen Shang yearned for a peaceful and tranquil world. It was because he was too exhausted all these years. For his family and friends, for his own survival, he ran all over the place non-stop, participated in all kinds of wars, and experienced all kinds of dangers. Therefore, he longed for this peaceful life from the bottom of his heart. However, deep in his heart, he had an even greater desire and ambition. Even he himself did not know what it was. It was just that over the past few years, due to all sorts of things, his terrifying ambition did not explode, and as time passed, it grew quiet. However, it still existed deep within his heart along with him. That was his second divine sense C, which was also his true appearance. I'll soon be arriving at my second divine sense see. As long as I condense the 100 gods level, I'll be able to see my true divine sense see with 9 bones. Chen Shang clenched his fists. Wu Ji said, the Earth's core is always hot, and this bones is used as the core, so of course it's for the fire attribute. Of course, you can also choose other attributes. Quote. I understand. Chen Shang nodded. He had already decided that if one of the 2 bones as he had condensed just now fused with the life and death divine soul, it would allow his divine sense see world to be more lively and beautiful. And the other one was prepared for the second divine sense see. In order to match his second divine sense see, he needed to find 5 sets of divine soul, which also corresponded to the 5 beast statue in his second divine sense see. Right now, Chen Shang could not go and condense the 9th divine deity, because before that, he had to finish condensing his divine soul, and condense his divine deity to 100 before proceeding with the final sprint. At that time, it would definitely not be difficult, because he would be able to condense them very smoothly after eating the bone-level fruit. Elder Wu, I'll go look for divine soul now, it might take some time to return. If the disciples don't have enough divine pellets, ask them to wait a little longer. Chen Shang said. Divine pills are definitely enough. You already gave them a lot, and they are already very satisfied. Because of the death of Purple Yuan sect, we can't let them go out right now. This caused them to clamor all day just to kill special god beast S and help you earn some Shen Yuan stone S. Wu Ji laughed. I'll be fine, I'll be back in 3 months or so, and at that time, the Purple Yuan sect will probably take action as well. They won't let this go easily, and they'll just let the Wang Ancient Heavenly Star off the hook like that. Chen Shang said. The Purple Yuan sect already has a new leader. Their leader died here, so no matter what, they will come here to find trouble. This group of people are all very ambitious, they would definitely use this chance to swallow the entire Wang Ancient Heavenly Star. This way, they can occupy 2 heavenly stars and become the strongest power in the Star Law Divine Realm. Wu Ji nodded his head, but we don't have to worry, they won't be able to find us for now. After Chen Shang changed his appearance, he headed towards the transmitting square. He was not going to look for divine soul, but to look for Zhe Long on the Earth Dragon Star. He wanted to know more about that kind of bone-level fruit. If he could get a lot of these bone-level fruit, he would be able to build an army of peak divine lords soon. After a few teleportations, Chen Shang finally arrived at the Earth Stage Stars, Earth Dragon Star. Zhe Long was the Star Lord here. He directly arrived at the largest city on Earth Dragon Star, Emperor Dragon City. Why isn't this place called Earth Dragon City? And it's called Emperor Dragon City. Chen Shang came to Delong City via the transmission array, smiling as he talked to himself. Landworms are already quite unpleasant to listen to. I expect that not too long from now, Earth Drake will be named Emperor Dragon Star. UAA smiled. Chapter 2291. Zhe Long was the Star Lord, he definitely lived in Delong City. Chen Shang wandered around Delong City, and accidentally discovered that he could feel the aura of a dragon from here. Is there a dragon here? Chen Shang said in shock. Divine dragon race is also hiding now. This Earth Dragon Star has probably existed for a long time, those heavenly star great leaders must have also come here to look for it, who asked him to give such a name. Yu said. Chen Shang had already found out the location of the Emperor Dragon City's Star Lord. That place was called Supreme Dragon Villa, and if one stood on a wide street, they would be able to see a mountain in front of them, and that would be the Emperor Dragon Villa. Could it be? UAA suddenly thought of something. What is it? Chen Shang asked. Zhe Long has taken a liking to Bisheng Immortal Lotus, and Bisheng Immortal Lotus is a divine medicine used to refine 3 lotus dan for detoxification. For him to be willing to part with that bone-level fruit means that he is in urgent need of Bisheng Immortal Lotus S, and he wants more lotus seeds. That means that the poison that needs to be detoxified is very deep, or that he needs to receive many people's poison. UAA replied, this place has a dragon aura, which means there's a dragon here. A dragon is most afraid of a poison. Hearing UAA's words, Chen Shang also felt that it was possible, and the poison that dragons feared the most was obviously black dragon flower poison. Long Shui was so powerful, he could only absorb a bit of the black dragon flower poison's poison mist, and that took half his life. Chen Shang quickly walked in front of the door of the Supreme Dragon Villa. Even though the door was open, a jade plate with no access, or someone that the guard recognized, simply could not be entered. I want to see Star Lord Zhe Long. He'll know when you tell him about the Bisheng Immortal Lotus. Chen Shang told the guard to pass the message back. Please wait a moment. He quickly left through the door. It was obvious that he was extremely concerned about this matter. It was clear that Zhe Long had instructed him to quickly spread the news regarding the Bisheng Immortal Lotus. Not long after, a black figure flashed by and Chen Shang saw a familiar face, immediately flying out. Oh, it's Brother Shen. Come in quickly. Zhe Long immediately laughed and said. Then, he brought Chen Shang into the Supreme Dragon Villa, into a quiet bamboo forest. Brother Ji's words are indeed true. That bone-level fruit really made me condense my bones. Chen Shang laughed. I, Zhe Long, am definitely speaking the truth. I have never lied to anyone before. Zhe Long laughed out loud. Since Brother Shen has condensed your bones, then we should celebrate it now. I will tell my people which dishes and wine to bring over. Very quickly, the wine and dishes arrived. Many of them were very sumptuous, and Chen Shang did not hold back as he tried the delicious dishes. Brother Zhe, I don't understand. These bone-level fruit are definitely capable of condensing bones. Why would you want to exchange it? Furthermore, if you eat 9, wouldn't you be able to condense 9 bones? Chen Shang and Zhe Long asked after drinking a bowl of wine. This bone-level fruit is also very strange. Other than the 9th bones, all other divine deity can be condensed by eating bone-level fruit. For example, the first time you ate 1, as long as you ate 1, you would definitely be able to condense 1, and condensing a second bones would require 500 bone-level fruit, and condensing third bones would require 1,000, and fourth would require 1,500. If we were to use this method, we will need to increase the amount by 500. Zhe Long sighed. Even so, it only takes a period of time to grow this fruit, and I will also be able to eat the 8 bones, only, it will no longer have any effects when I reach the 9th, and will simply not be able to eat. Oh, then, Brother Zhe, don't you have a lot of these bone-level fruit? Chen Shang said in shock. They must have tried it, otherwise they wouldn't say such words. There used to be a lot, but now there's less. Zhe Long said. At that time I forgot to tell Brother Shen, it was best to save it until the 8th bones is condensed before using it. I'm fine. Have you ever tried to refine a bone-level fruit into a pill? Would the effects be better this way? Chen Shang asked again. No, I can't refine a pill. An old fellow here who is capable of refining the King Grade's divine pellet, has tried many times but to no avail, and even wasted thousands of fruits. Zhe Long shook his head. Chen Shang suddenly had a lot of interest. What others couldn't do, he liked to challenge the most, and that was how the 9 yin and yang dan acted previously. Brother Zhe, how many bone-level fruit do you have? I want to get some. Chen Shang laughed. Looking at Zhe Long's demeanor, he knew that there were a lot of them, if not he could casually waste over 1,000 of them. If it used to be more, now it is less. Zhe Long shook his head. Of course, if Chen Shang really wants it, give me a price, I can actually help you get some. Brother Zhe, even though you are the Star Lord, you guys are a major power, right? It seems like your internal department is also very harmonious. Chen Shang laughed. Brother Zhe is such a straightforward person, there will definitely not be any conflicts between you and others. Of course, although our Supreme Dragon Villa is not a powerful powerhouse like the Heavenly Star Villa, we are still very loyal. If those big powers want to make a move on us, even if we have to risk our lives, we will still make them suffer. Zhe Long laughed. What if I take out my 3 lotus dan? Chen Shang asked. He did not have many purple pearls now, but there were a lot of spirit seed that could make the 3 gods' lotus produce lotus seeds. The last time he refined one for Dai Donggong's daughter, he gave Dai Donggong 2 pills and left one for himself. It really is a 3 lotus dan, and its quality is very high. Zhe Long was surprised. Brother Shen, how did you get your hands on it? I have seen 3 lotus dan, but the quality is not as good as yours. Quote. Chen Shang laughed. Of course I refined it myself. The last time at the trade fair, those bone-level dan were all refined by me alone. I am also a pill god. Awesome. Zhe Long gave Chen Shang a big thumbs up. Looks like you are much stronger than our old ghost who managed to refine the King Grade's divine pellet. How is it? How many bone-level fruit can I exchange my 3 lotus dan for? Chen Shang now also wanted to use bone-level fruit to try and see if he could refine a pill. If he was more patient, he could use the purple pearl to copy it, but that would take a lot of time. 10. Zhe Long said. I knew that Brother Zhe would have a lot of them, but don't you think so? Chen Shang laughed. I can't just casually take out bone-level fruit as. We will just take out a tree and use the time formation to accelerate. Over the years, we have consumed a lot of energy from the Earth's core, so our acceleration has become extremely slow, not as fast as it was before. Zhe Long said. Brother Zhe, do you have dragons here? Just as Chen Shang finished asking, Zhe Long became alert, and a trace of hostility flashed in his eyes. Don't worry, I know what's going on with dragon, but I don't want to catch you bastards like those bastards. To be honest, I have a wife who is a white dragon, and because she was infected with a black dragon flower poison, I ran all the way to Star La Divine Realm to find the 3 Lotus Dan's divine medicine. After I worked hard to find it, I have successfully refined the 3 Lotus Dan and helped her detoxify it. Chen Shang immediately said. Chapter 2292. Hearing what Chen Shang said at the end, Zhe Long's expression became a lot more gentle. Seems like Brother Shen has already guessed something. Zhe Long sighed. I'm not afraid to tell you, even though I have the bloodline of the divine dragon race, I'm human. I have a recognized sister, just like Brother Zhe. Chen Shang nodded and laughed. The white dragon vein in his body was also very strong. Only those bastards have black dragon flower poison. Since you came from a distant world outside the Star La Divine Realm, how were you poisoned? Could it be that those fellows went all the way over to poison him? Zhe Long said. From his tone, it was obvious that he hated the people who poisoned him. Chen Shang nodded his head. He had initially absorbed that person's memories, but only knew that they were entrusted to this place by a group of people from the Star La Divine Realm, but he did not know who they were. At that time, all I knew was that those people were sent by Star La Divine Realm. I came to Star La Divine Realm and only then did I have a slight understanding of the powers here. Chen Shang said. At the same time, I also heard about the matters of the divine dragon race. After all, my wife is Bai Long, she should also be considered a member of the divine dragon race. Now it seems like Brother Zhe has a lot of poisonous dragons here. Quote, white dragons are extremely rare, they have never appeared in divine dragon race, but there are some in teleportation places. At this time, Zhe Long was no longer so cautious towards Chen Shang. The divine dragon race was indeed poisoned by them. Many powerful old divine dragons were poisoned and are currently frozen. We, the descendants of dragons, can only run around in search of the antidote. Zhe Long sighed. Then how many 3 Lotus Dan do you want now? Chen Shang passed the 3 Lotus Dan in his hand over. Take it for now. After Zhe Long received them, he gave Chen Shang 10 bone-level fruit S and said, we still need about 30 of them. This is not a small number. Of course, if there were any other supreme Dan beads or Dan beads that could cure the poison, that would be fine too. To remove black dragon flower poison, 3 Lotus Dan are the best. Quote, if I were to give you 33 Lotus Dan S, would you be able to give me 300? Chen Shang asked. He felt that this was not too hard, he did not need to copy the divine lotus, as long as he could get the 3 divine lotuses to become mature through the spirit seed S, he would be able to condense the lotus seeds. As long as he used lotus seeds, he would be able to refine 3 Lotus Dan, and he could produce more than 1 pill in a single furnace. If Brother Shen can help us get 33 Lotus Dan in a short period of time, we can give you 500. Zhe Long said, even though I have not reported it, they will definitely agree. Alright, in a short period of time, how many days is it? At this time, Chen Shang had already told Yue to plant spirit seed S. As long as she diluted them with purple pearls and watered them with water, they could grow them in batches. Within a year. At this time, he was very excited as well. If Chen Shang could help them get so many 3 Lotus Dan, then Divine Dragon race's old dragon would be able to unlock them very quickly. Since the Divine Dragon race didn't have a powerful old dragon guarding it, it caused the entire Divine Dragon race to panic and hide in all directions for many years. Chen Shang had also heard from Yue that among all 4 divine races, only Divine Dragon race's combat power was the most terrifying. Earlier, Yue had already been extremely suspicious about why Divine Dragon race didn't counterattack, and now she understood that all of them had been infected with black dragon flower poison. Okay, I will definitely give it to you within a year. I have the divine medicine, and right now, I only need to enter closed-door training for a period of time. Chen Shang laughed. Brother Zhe, can you help me arrange a better environment for me to refine pills? Zhe Long said in surprise, you alone managed to refine 33 Lotus Dan in a year. That is a king-grade god pill. Quote, All these years, Long and the others had been looking everywhere for 3 Lotus Dan-s, so they understood 3 Lotus Dan-s very well. Naturally, they knew that 3 Lotus Dan-s were not easy to refine, and many of the pill gods they knew said that it would take at least a few months to refine a batch of 3 Lotus Dan-s, and if it was a long time, a few years would be normal. As for Chen Shang himself, he would need to refine 30 pills in a year. To Long's knowledge, this required 30 batches of pills. I alone can handle it. All you need to do is to equip your bone-level fruit and give it to me. Chen Shang laughed. Quickly bring me to concoct pills. Long brought Chen Shang to a quiet little courtyard in the Supreme Dragon Villa. I will instruct them not to let anyone near this place. Brother Shen, you should start forging the pills in peace. After Long finished speaking, he hurriedly left. He was going to discuss this matter with his own clansmen. Chen Shang entered the courtyard and had Yue start to mature those 3 divine lotuses, so that they could grow a lotus seed as soon as possible. If he wanted to refine 33 Lotus Dan, he would only need to refine 10 batches. It would be enough if he could condense 10 lotus seeds out of the 3 divine lotuses, which would be completely possible within 1 year. If he wanted to copy 500 bone-level fruit, who knows how long it would take. You try to mature those divine lotuses first, I'll try to see if I can refine the bone-level fruit into a divine pellet. Chen Shang said. As long as he had enough divine medicines, he would be able to refine them immediately. Now that Yue wanted to mature the divine lotus, there was still a bit of time left for Duankong to do so. He also had 10 bone-level fruit on him, so he decided to try refining the bone-level fruit first. Yue smiled. If I can concoct a divine pill, what kind of divine pill would that be? It can't be called a bone-level Dan, right? Quote. Let's talk about it after it is forged. It seems like it won't be easy to forge. Chen Shang took out the Chuangshi God furnace and threw it inside. Just as the flame was released, the bone-level fruit turned into mist and merged into the flame, causing it to become even more exuberant. Mother Cker. Chen Shang could not help but scold in a low voice. He never thought that this bone-level fruit was actually so afraid of flames, it just disappeared the moment it touched flames. Previously, when Chen Shang ate the bone-level fruit, he knew that it was very weak. With a light bite of its teeth, it would be able to bite it down, and it would look no different from a normal fruit. Unexpectedly, even the weakest of flames, the moment the bone-level fruit touched it, would immediately vaporize like water. What's wrong? Yue saw Chen Zhang's expression and asked anxiously. No, that bone-level fruit was a waste. I never thought it would be so weak. The flame evaporated with a light touch. Chen Shang said, I have to think of a way to deal with this kind of special situation. I have never encountered such a situation before. Under my control, the heat generated by my flame is extremely low. Even if the paper touches it, it won't burn for a while. But this bone-level fruit is extremely strange, as if it can consciously absorb a large amount of flames into its own body. Although the time he took to refine the pellet was very short, Chen Shang still noticed a lot of things. Chapter 2293. Chen Shang closed his eyes and started searching for a solution within the heavenly alchemy. If he could not find one, then he would not be able to progress any further. When concocting pills, one needed to be precise and proficient in controlling the fire. They needed to refine out the energy within the material, leaving behind the essence and burning away all the impurities. However, this bone-level fruit would never give alchemists the chance. It could ignite itself and quickly incinerate itself. Let's try using the flame first, it might be useful. Chen Shang was unable to find a suitable solution from the heavenly alchemy at the moment, so he could only use a method that he thought was feasible. After he used the mystic flame, the interior of the pill furnace was extremely quiet. Just as Chen Shang thought there was hope, the bone-level fruit suddenly lit up, and in the blink of an eye it disappeared. We wasted another one. Chen Shang was completely speechless. This bone-level fruit seemed to have disappeared the moment it touched the flames. He had no idea how to refine it, and if he did not use the flames, he had no idea how he could do it. He did not dare to try again now, and could only continue to search for a solution within the heavenly alchemy. Just like that, he searched for 10 days, but he still did not have any clues, causing him to become extremely agitated. Could it be that bone-level fruit is really unable to refine a divine pill? Chen Shang asked himself. Didn't the heavenly alchemy say that it can refine all living things in the world? There must be a way, but you haven't found it yourself. Yue laughed. Now that you have 3 sets of divine medicine used to refine 3 Lotus Dan, are you going to start refining them? Chen Shang nodded his head. Give it to me, I want to first refine the 3 Lotus Dan heart. Before, when he was refining the 9 Yin and Yang Dan and the 3 Lotus Dan, he encountered many problems and could even get a clue in the end, but now the bone level fruit did not have a clue. No matter how he thought about it, he did not know how to deal with it. In the blink of an eye, 10 days had passed. Chen Shang had successfully refined 12 3 Lotus Dan-s, and he was now able to condense 4 pellets in one furnace, which made him very satisfied because this was not a small breakthrough. If it was before, when he refined 3 pellets in one furnace, he would only be able to condense 9. Now, UAA could concoct 3 sets of divine medicine in 10 days' time, so Chen Shang had only just finished 3 batches and was about to start concocting again. In about 3 months, Chen Shang had refined 8 batches of 3 Lotus Dan, with 4 pellets each, for a total of 32 pellets. Do you still want to continue refining bone-level fruit? You were asked. No, I have no idea where to start. Refining it would just be a waste of a bone-level fruit. Chen Shang said, let's go out and exchange for those 500 bone-level fruit. Moreover, I had said before that I would be returning in 3 months. We'll talk about it after we return to the villa. Quote. Chen Shang walked out of the courtyard and found Zhe Long. It's not even a year and you're already out, Chen Shang. Isn't it too boring? Zhe Long laughed. Of course not, I'm in a hurry to go back. Here are 33 Lotus Dan-s, are you ready? Chen Shang laughed. Zhe Long was greatly shocked. It had only been 3 months or so, yet he was able to refine 33 Lotus Dan-s. Zhe Long found it hard to believe that this was true. This, can I see it? Zhe Long did not dare believe it. Chen Shang took out a jade box and handed it over to him. Zhe Long took a look at it and took a deep breath in shock. It is real as expected. Did you really refine this in 3 months? How did you refine it? I told the old man in my clan that you were going to refine 33 Lotus Dan in a year, and he said it was impossible, and now you're a lot ahead of schedule. You're done in 3 months. Quote. Of course I used a pill furnace. Chen Shang laughed. I am a very powerful pill god, different from those you have seen before. Oh right, brother Zhe, where is your bone-level fruit? It couldn't be that he wasn't prepared. Am I refining too fast? I'm ready. Zhe Long immediately gave Chen Shang a storage bag. Count it yourself. Chen Shang counted them, and there were a total of 500. Brother Zhe, do you know what happened in the Everlasting Mountain in the past 3 months? Chen Shang asked because if Purple Yuan sect died here, something would definitely happen later. Well, I also feel that it's very strange. It's already been 3 months and Everlasting Mountain is actually calm and tranquil. It's really abnormal. If we were the Purple Yuan sect, we would have killed our way over long ago and leveled the Everlasting Mountain, occupying the entire Wang Ancient Heavenly Star. Zhe Long said, but whether it is the Purple Yuan sect or the Everlasting Mountain, there are no movements. It is as if nothing had happened. Chen Shang also felt that it was strange. He said, then I will take my leave first. Next time when I am at the bone-level fruit, I will come again to find you, Brother Zhe. Brother Shen, where are you in Wang Ancient Heavenly Star? If I want to find you, how can I contact you? Now, Zhe Long already knew that Chen Shang was an extremely terrifying pill god. There's a villa in Kang Cloud City. You can go there to find me, but whether or not you want to announce my name, just say that you want to find leader. Chen Shang said. Leader, all right. Zhe Long felt that it was already quite a good amount of luck that he could recognize Chen Shang as a pill god. He could solve the problem that they had been unable to do for many years in such a short period of time. Chen Shang left the Earth Dragon Star and returned to his villa. Elder Wu, I was on Earth Dragon Star before. According to my understanding, Purple Yuan sect did not make any movements, and Everlasting Mountain was like that as well. Why is that so? Once Chen Shang returned, he immediately went to find Wu Ji and asked him about this matter. Wu Ji was still meddling with the cultivation techniques. When he saw Chen Shang had arrived, he immediately got up and said, the other heavenly stars and other major powers are also puzzled by this, but I have learned a lot through my clone. This is really strange. Chen Shang sat down. Dan God Institute and the Elders' Courtyard have all agreed to merge with the Purple Yuan sect, and Wang Ancient Heavenly Star is also one of the Purple Yuan sect. After a while the Purple Yuan sect will send people to take over the Everlasting Mountain, and that person will even become the leader. Wu Ji said, this way, the Everlasting Mountain will not be attacked by the Purple Yuan sect, and those fellows will not suffer any losses. And Purple Yuan sect does not need to go overboard just to obtain Wang Ancient Heavenly Stars and have them take control. They all feel that it's worth it. Quote, I really don't know what those idiots from the Everlasting Mountain are thinking. Once the Everlasting Mountain is taken over, they will definitely not have any good days in the future, especially those inner sect disciples who have weak strengths. Chen Shang sneered. Leader, your original plan was to defeat Everlasting Mountain. It seems like it will become even more difficult now. In the next few days, the Purple Yuan sect will send his people over to take over the more prosperous parts of the Wang Ancient Heavenly Star. At that time, many of the Peak Divine Lord will come over. Wu Ji said. Chapter 2294. When the Purple Yuan sect came over, Chen Shang didn't feel that this was disadvantageous for him. Instead, he felt that this was good. It's fine, no matter what, we have to face all the powerful forces of the Heavenly Star Realm in the end. Even if the Purple Yuan sect does not come, we cannot act rashly before we have absolute strength. Otherwise, it would be very easy for us to be killed by the other great leaders of the Heavenly Star Realm. Chen Shang laughed, we will continue to develop in secret. As long as we have a few Peak Divine Lords on our side, we will be able to do something to fight against them. Wu Ji nodded, oh yeah, if you're condensing a disciple with 7 bones, tell me. I'll give them a fruit to eat, and it will allow them to immediately condense the 8th bones. Chen Shang said. Leader, I have 7 bones now. Wu Ji asked anxiously, is there really such a mystical fruit? Can condense bones just by eating it? Quote. Chen Shang nodded, but we can only eat up to the 8th bones, the first time, we only need to eat 1, then we will definitely be able to condense bones, other than the 9th bones. He took out a bone-level fruit and passed it to Wu Ji. Eat it first, wait for Elder Wu to finish looking for your 8th bones, then you can consider the 9th bones. Wu Ji still did not dare believe it. After eating it for so many years, every time he condensed his bones, it would take a long time and it would be extremely painful. Leader, did you find the divine soul on your head? Wu Ji asked. Not yet, I went to Earth Dragon Star to get something like that. Chen Shang laughed, there are some things I want to ask Elder Wu. Go ahead, I knew I'd tell you. Wu Ji put away the bone-level fruit and took out a transparent crystal ball. He guessed that the thing Chen Shang wanted to ask would require him to establish a connection with multiple clones. I heard that Star Law Divine Realm once had an azure dragon, white tiger, vermilion bird, and black tortoise. These 4 divine beasts, right? Chen Shang asked. I wonder if there's still anything left. The 4 divine beasts that were once in the Star Law Divine Realm no longer exist. When a world reaches a stable state, they will also die. His lifespan is limited, and he won't live forever. Wu Ji said, our undead divine race has very detailed records of the 4 divine beasts, including where they died. I need this information, Chen Shang said, if they die, there should be more things left behind. Yes, that's for sure. Back then, those heavyweights caught our clansmen and tortured them to find out where the 4 divine beasts died. As for whether or not it was leaked, I'm not sure either. Wu Ji let out a long sigh, looked at Chen Shang, and asked seriously, Leader, can you tell me why you want to find the 4 divine beasts' mausoleum? I need their divine soul, to integrate with my bones. Chen Shang answered honestly, these bones were all prepared for the other bones on his head. Alright, it's just that the tomb of the 4 divine beasts is not easy to enter. Even our clansmen do not know about this. We only know that the tombs of the 4 divine beasts were constructed by a group of strange fellows. Wu Ji tapped the center of Chen Zhang's brows with his fingertip and told Chen Shang the location of the tomb of the 4 divine beasts. What a strange guy. Are they humans? Chen Shang asked curiously. We don't know if they are human or not. We know that those fellows are very savage and have the features of humans, but their actions do not resemble humans at all. Wu Ji said, for example, when they hunted the special god beast, they would directly tear it apart and eat it for themselves. If we catch them, they will be eaten alive as well. Furthermore, they are extremely powerful, so what they are using is not divine power. Quote. Not divine power, Chen Shang said in shock. Could it be the power of my physical body? It's also not the power of the physical body. In short, even if they don't have heads, the random movement of their bodies will still burst forth with very strong power. In short, it's a very strange power. Wu Ji said. Of the 2 bones in his head, one wanted to merge with the life and death divine soul, and the other wanted to merge with the 5 beasts divine soul. 4 of them belong to the 4 divine beasts. Back then, there were 5 beast statues on the yin-yang array in his dantian, and an elephant was in the middle. It was still the same, and he didn't know where to find the divine soul of that elephant, so he could only find the 4 divine beasts first. If there's a Qilin beast elephant in the middle, then it would be easy. Why wouldn't it be? Chen Shang was also very confused by this. Wu Ji returned to the private room to eat bone-level fruit. Chen Shang went to chat with Feng Wu for a while, and also returned to the private room to refine bone-level Dan. In a month's time, Chen Shang had refined quite a few bone-level Dan, all of them were of high, middle, and low quality. He passed them to Dai Donggong, bid farewell to a few elders, and then left the Wang Ancient Heavenly Star. Chen Shang left the Wang Ancient Heavenly Star to search for the 4 divine beasts' mausoleum. Where are they? Yue asked. I am quite familiar with the Star Law Divine Realm, and I can sense the stars. Among the distant death stars, undead divine race only knows a general idea. Chen Shang said, I do. Huh, Yue exclaimed, among the dead stars. Star Law Divine Realm has the most death stars, you can't just search for them one by one, right? Quote. There is an approximate range. Oh right, if you were a death star, would you be able to establish a connection with one? Chen Shang asked. No, a dead star is dead. No matter how big it is, as long as it's dead, there's no star spirit in it. I can't sense it. Yue replied, if there's a rough estimate, then it's not that difficult. Chen Shang used the Wang Ancient Heavenly Star to teleport to Earth stage stars, and then used this Earth stage stars to teleport to a profound ranked star. Only these stars had transmission array, so he was going to cross over in the endless starry sky. The stars of these divine beasts shouldn't be the type to give up all hope, right? Even their corpses can make the Death Star produce star spirits. Yue asked, Chen Shang, which divine beast's mausoleum are you going to go to now? Azure Dragon. Using the space wind, Chen Shang quickly left that profound ranked star and entered the dark starry sky. I've come to this star field before. Back then, I encountered a rather strange matter here. Yue suddenly shouted, you have to be careful. What strange thing? Chen Shang was only worried about the strange fellow that Wu Ji was talking about. He was curious about this and was very curious about the fact that he was able to help the 4 divine beasts build a mausoleum. There's a kind of starry sky blood devil here, like a bloodthirsty thing suddenly appeared. It's invisible. I met many of them, and they chased me for a long distance as well. This guy could also travel through space to chase you, but then somehow, that guy suddenly died. That's very hard to kill. Yue said, this question has troubled me for many years. Chapter 2295. When Chen Shang heard Yue talk about starry sky blood devil, he immediately stopped. He knew that this kind of star domain was dangerous, but he felt that even if it was dangerous, he would have sensed it beforehand. Starry sky blood devil? Chen Shang asked. It's a special kind of spirit that's lurking in the dark sky. Their initial form does not have a physical body, it's just that the spirit bodies that you can't see or touch are wandering in the sky, quietly and specifically attached to the bodies of humans and beasts, quietly sucking blood. While sucking blood you will not be able to discover them, and when you are aware of it, the blood on your body instantly decreases by a lot. Yue thought back to this incident, her voice trembling slightly. Back then, I had a lot of blood sucked out of me. I was almost completely sucked dry. This is terrifying. Why didn't you say so earlier? Chen Shang looked around, his heart also full of goosebumps. Yue's perception was extremely strong, even if she couldn't detect it, it would be difficult for others to do so. We haven't reached that area yet. It's still very safe here, but even if we go there, I won't be able to feel the existence of the starry sky blood devil, but if you use the Dao Heart Eye, you might be able to see it directly. Yue replied, back then, when I communicated with the stars, I found out that starry sky blood devil's favorite hiding place was the darkest place. Chen Shang was currently in the vast starry sky, and the majority of the stars were very far apart, but only a small portion of the stars would emit light. Most of the stars were dead stars with no light on their own, so if they were far away from the stars that glowed, then those areas would be extremely dark. Chen Shang could see the starlight from all directions. Although it was a little dim, it would not cause the area he was in to become completely dark. How was this starry sky blood devil born? Even though they are in their spirit bodies, they can still suck blood. Chen Shang was also rather curious about the starry sky blood devil at this time. I don't know. I asked the old men in the Star Moon divine race, and they don't know much about it either. All they know is that the starry sky blood devil is a little afraid of light. Moreover, these starry sky blood devils have a very long lifespan, and are almost immortal. It's just that their existence is too secretive, and sometimes, even if you go to a dark place, it's hard to find them. UAA replied, only when you're extremely unlucky will you encounter them in the starry sky. Do you know what will happen after they form their fleshly bodies? Chen Shang was very curious about this, and laughed, I really want to catch one or two to research. This thing is very dangerous, it's better not to touch it, lest it gets sucked dry. Yu said, the elders from our clan also don't know how their flesh and blood were formed, but those old men said that undead divine race had done a better research on these things. The undead divine race had existed a long time ago, and was born even earlier than the other three god tribes. Chen Shang continued to walk forward. He did not know if he could find the Star Law Divine Realm's Azure Dragon's mausoleum. Even if he could, there might not be any powerful beast spirits left behind, but he had to go and take a look. As long as he felt that it was possible, he would not give up. He used the space wind to travel. His speed was extremely fast, and soon he entered a dark area. Something's wrong. After Chen Shang finished speaking, he immediately retreated backwards for a distance. When he returned, he immediately saw light. UAA also understood now that the area Chen Shang had entered earlier had some kind of mysterious power that prevented the light from entering, preventing it from entering. The Death Star that is the location of the Azure Dragon's mausoleum is just ahead, but there seems to be an extremely large barrier up ahead that covers a star field, causing the interior to become extremely dark. Chen Shang said before he teleported forward and entered the dark star region. Could it be that he deliberately chose this place as the location of the mausoleum? Would it be safer like this? UAA replied, when I came back that year, I was in too much of a hurry. I didn't discover that there was actually a very large barrier here. Why did you come to this kind of place all those years ago? Right now, Chen Shang did not continue using the space wind, but was flying in the darkness of the starry sky. At the same time, he opened the Dao Heart Eye and looked around him. Back then, I was a law enforcer and went around arresting people. I chased a guy all the way here and then I met that kind of starry sky blood devil for no reason. Yu said. For safety's sake, Chen Shang took out the 6 realms mirrors. Sitting on the mirror, he controlled the 6 realms mirrors to release a barrier so that he wouldn't have to worry about being ambushed even if he relaxed. He was very confident in the defense of the 6 realms mirrors. At this time, Chen Shang paid attention to the large and small death stars that were floating inside. These stars were all dead silent. How do I find it? If the mausoleum were to be buried on these dead stars, it would be impossible to see it like this. Yu said. In the ancient legends of the undead divine race, a mausoleum was built by a strange person. You should have heard of it from Elder Wu, right? Chen Shang said. On that star, as long as I find something like that, it would be the star where the Azure Dragon tomb is located. Is this true? UAA was in disbelief. How can such a place exist? The strange fellow that Elder Wu mentioned sounds very strong. In this kind of dead star cluster, without enough energy to support it, they won't be able to become strong. Quote. Chen Shang shook his head. He himself was not sure either, but at the moment, he had only grasped these clues. He could only search for it, if not he would not know how to find it. Just as Chen Shang was opening the Dao Heart Eye and looking at the death stars in front of him, he suddenly saw a few red specks floating in the starry sky, seemingly moving quickly towards him. He immediately put away the Dao Heart Eye. In front of him was pitch black, and when he used the Dao Heart Eye again, he saw that kind of dense, extremely large number of small dots. I saw it, Chen Shang exclaimed. Ah, you found the Azure Dragon's mausoleum so quickly? Yu asked in surprise. No, I saw the starry sky blood devil, I saw it with the Dao Heart Eye. There are a lot of them and they move very fast. They were very far away from me, but they are getting closer and closer. Chen Shang was also a little worried. He was worried that these starry sky blood devil would damage the defense of the 6 realms mirrors. I really met it. Your luck is pretty good. Luckily, you can see it. If you could not see it, and was still headed towards that place, you would have become a human now. UAA asked, can you see what they look like? I can't see. They are already here, and all I can see is a human-shaped red shadow. These things are indeed spirits, but there is a very special kind of energy in their body that allows them to possess special powers. Chen Shang said. Chapter 2296. As Chen Shang and Yue were talking, that large wave of starry sky blood devil had already arrived beside him, heavily surrounding him and crazily charging toward the defensive barrier released by the Six Realms mirrors. The defense shield released by the Six Realms mirrors does not have any pressure at all. Seems like this kind of thing only have a special blood-sucking technique, it's not that powerful in other places. Chen Shang smiled as he took out the Chuangshi God Furnace. Then, he used his spatial energy to teleport the Chuangshi God Furnace outside the barrier. How many are there? How on earth are they born? There are millions of people surrounding me right now. The last time you were almost sucked dry of your blood, it might not be just one person chasing after you, but tens of thousands instead. Chen Shang said. When Yue heard it, she felt goosebumps all over. Chen Shang had these kind of things million times more around him, she felt that she must have had this kind of thing last time. Did I run into the blood devil nest and leave? Fortunately, I have a lot of health left, otherwise I would have died long ago. Yue sighed in fear. Chen Shang controlled the Chuangshi God Furnace to produce a suction force that sucked all the starry sky blood devil in. What are you doing? Yue asked in shock. Right now, she could see everything except the pitch-black space. She did not have a Dao Heart Eye. Chen Shang had the Dao Heart Eye, so he could see that the starry sky blood devils were like a blood-colored fog that was continuously surging into the Chuangshi God Furnace. I want to store these things inside the Chuangshi God Furnace and study them carefully. Chen Shang laughed, to see if this kind of thing is useful, and to see what kind of strange power they are formed from. I'm afraid that you want to see whether or not you can refine a pill. Yue laughed and said, what strange thing do you see that makes you want to refine it? Let's take a look first, it's rather boring on the way anyway. Chen Shang laughed, he indeed had that thought. Very quickly, the starry sky blood devil that surrounded him was absorbed into the Chuangshi God Furnace. Just as he finished collecting them, he saw another red light appear in front of him. There's actually more, Chen Shang said in shock, but this time he rushed over himself, and even controlled the Six Realms mirrors to release a strong white light. After the Six Realms mirrors flew over, it released a very strong white light. When the starry sky blood devil saw it, they started to flee, with tens of thousands of starry sky blood devils scattered in all directions. The scene was also very spectacular, but only Chen Shang could see it. These starry sky blood devil are very afraid of the white light. Chen Shang said, this was a discovery, and their form is a human figure. It seems that after they formed their flesh bodies, they would definitely be in human form. He withdrew the white light and the surrounding starry sky blood devils immediately flew back. It could be seen that these starry sky blood devils did not have much intelligence, they only identified their target and then flew forward with all their might. Just like before, Chen Shang took out the Chuangshi God Furnace and then released a suction force that sucked all the starry sky blood devil in. No more, Yue asked. It's temporarily gone. Chen Shang patted the Chuangshi God Furnace, it's filled to the brim, I hope this kind of thing can be useful. Chen Shang used his mind to carefully observe the interior of the Chuangshi God Furnace, but he did not see anything. After using the Dao Heart Eye, he was shocked. The Chuangshi God Furnace seemed to be filled with thick blood, and with so many starry sky blood devils squeezed together, it actually became blood, just that the blood was in the spirit body state. What exactly is this thing? Chen Shang used the Dao Heart Eye to mutate and released flames to burn the starry sky blood devil inside. Just as it was set aflame, the Chuangshi God Furnace began to sway slightly. Chen Shang exclaimed, it can actually produce such a powerful energy. These starry sky blood devil must be birthed from a very special and powerful energy. Quote. Chen Shang was currently refining these starry sky blood devil like refining pills. Before long, all of them had been refined by him into an even thicker red liquid. Hey, you aren't thinking of refining it into a pill and eating it, are you? Yue suddenly felt her scalp go numb. Starry sky blood devil was such a scary item, to actually want to refine it into a pill and eat it, this was something that no one had ever done before. What are you afraid of? There won't be any problems after I refine the pill. As a great pill god, it is necessary for you to try out the pills yourself. Chen Shang said as he chuckled. He had confidence in the heavenly alchemy, he felt that after being refined by it, the starry sky blood devil would become a pure energy. It all turned into energy. However, when he intended to completely fuse all of the energy, he felt that it was very difficult, not because he couldn't, but because he felt very weak. Even if he used all of his strength, he couldn't succeed. It was possible to fuse them, but his strength was insufficient. It was his first time encountering something like this. Even when his cultivation was very low previously, he would still be able to reach the final stage of condensing a Jingshan Dan. But now, he couldn't even reach the initial stage of the fusion. Could it be that there are too many Starry Sky Blood Devils? Chen Xiang was already sweating profusely. Just now, when he was going all out to merge with it, he could clearly feel how terrifying the energy he was trying to compress was. Looks like this is the only way. Chen Xiang made the Six Realms mirrors grow a lot larger, and then placed the Chuangshi God Furnace in the middle of the Six Realms mirrors. You want to borrow the strength of the Six Realms mirrors? Yue could guess at a glance. That's right, many of the array formations in the Six Realms mirrors are natural formations. They can produce very powerful energy, and under my control, these energy can compress the power of the Starry Sky Blood Devil within the Chuangshi God Furnace. After Chen Xiang placed the Chuangshi God Furnace in the middle of the Six Realms mirrors, he began to control the several large formations inside the Six Realms mirrors to combine together. The Six Realms mirrors itself could produce a large amount of Six Realms power as its support, so it would not need to rely on Chen Zhang's power for now. Under Chen Zhang's control, the Six Realms mirrors unleashed a strong power, and under Chen Zhang's control, the power entered the Chuangshi God Furnace. Chen Xiang and the Six Realms mirrors fused perfectly, so the Six Realms mirrors' energy was also equivalent to Chen Zhang's. When they entered the Chuangshi God Furnace, the Chuangshi God Furnace did not reject them. With the power of the Six Realms mirrors entering the Chuangshi God Furnace, the formless blood clot inside was gradually shrinking. As Chen Xiang continued to compress inside, the originally liquid blood gradually became thicker, and became moist like a clump of mud. At this moment, the lump of item was still very large and unstable. It was trembling slightly, and it was normal for such a situation to occur while compressing energy. It became a solid, looks like it will eventually condense into a Jingshan Dan. Chen Xiang was excited, he never thought that the Starry Sky Blood Devil would actually be such a treasure, being able to refine Jingshan Dans like this, but there were a lot of them. Chapter 2297. Chen Xiang used the Six Realms mirrors as help to accomplish something that he couldn't do with his current strength. Refining so many Starry Sky Blood Devils with special powers caused it to be extremely difficult for him to do so. Do you really want to eat it? Yue asked, will something happen to him? We'll talk about it when the refinement is completed. If there are no problems at that time, I'm not afraid. Chen Xiang laughed, anyway, during the refining process, the other impurities have already been removed by me. The process of compression was extremely long, and the Six Realms mirrors had consumed most of its energy. Chen Xiang had no choice but to channel his divine power into the Six Realms mirrors. Fortunately, he had a very vast Six Realms power in the Divine Sense C, which was enough for the Six Realms mirrors to maintain its energy for a long period of time. 3 days had passed, and Chen Zhang's Chuangshi God Furnace was burning with raging flames, burning the Jingshan Dan that had turned into a blood-colored crystal. Chen Xiang was trying to erase all of the consciousness inside the orb. This way, even if something went wrong, his own consciousness would not be affected in the least. It was refined the same as what Chen Xiang had expected. It was indeed made from a Jingshan Dan, he also decided to eat it now. It was very safe inside the Six Realms mirrors, but in order to make it safer, Chen Xiang flew to a nearby dead star and made a very deep hole that led deep underground. If anything happens to me, I will need you to save me. Chen Xiang took out a dark red Jingshan Dan from inside the Chuangshi God Furnace and Yue also came out from the ring. Do you really have a pill in your hand? Yue asked, why can't I see it? This kind of power is invisible, even if it is refined into a pill, it would be the same. Only by using the Dao Heart Eye can one see it, but one can still feel it. Chen Xiang pinched the Blood Demon Jingshan Dan and rubbed it on Yue's little claws. What a magical energy, Yue exclaimed, this pill seems to be invisible. Well, I'm going to eat. Chen Xiang nodded, and then put the pill into his mouth and swallowed it. Yue kept her distance from Chen Xiang, and currently, her heart was thumping non-stop. She was very nervous, afraid that something would happen to Chen Xiang, that she wouldn't be able to do anything to save him when the time comes. Any reaction? Yue whispered. No. Chen Xiang frowned, but the medicinal power is starting to dissolve, there seems to be a reaction. It's very cold, quote. With that said, Chen Xiang felt a chill invading every part of his body, making him shiver violently. Hey, Yue shouted in alarm and ran over. Chen Zhang's current appearance was like he had just eaten a poisonous mushroom. He lay on the ground and twitched his body, his eyes turning white. After Yue ran over, she felt a wave of hot air surging out from Chen Zhang's body. This made her feel very strange. Cold, cold to death. Chen Shang suddenly sat up, hugging his knees, his entire body shivering like a bug. But your body is very hot. Yue was stupefied. Chen Zhang's words were extremely cold, but the steam that he was spitting out made people feel like his body was burning. But, I feel, it's very cold, Chen Shang said while trembling. Circulate my energy and refine the power of that pellet. Yue hurriedly shouted, you must remember that you just ate a weird pill. It was only then that Chen Shang suddenly remembered that he had been completely dazed just now. Hearing Yue's reminder, he then revolved the heavenly alchemy and refined the strange energy that was scurrying around in his body. Not long after, Chen Zhang's condition stabilized, and Yue let out a sigh of relief. She had been extremely nervous just now. Yue squatted in front of Chen Shang, wagging her little tail and carefully looking at him. Once Chen Shang reacted, she would be worried again. After a long time had passed, Yue was suddenly shocked in her heart. Because Chen Zhang's body had suddenly become translucent, she thought she had seen wrongly. She squinted her eyes, and rubbed her eyes again, and realized that Chen Zhang's body was becoming more and more transparent. Yue was so shocked that she couldn't speak. She had seen Chen Shang become a mist before, but that was through using a divine ability. Now, when Chen Shang was refining the divine pellet, his body slowly disappeared. Not long after, Chen Shang only left behind a faint afterimage. He was still sitting cross-legged and seriously refining the pill. It has become transparent, just like the starry sky blood devil. Yue finally couldn't see Chen Shang anymore. She ran over and grabbed at Chen Shang with her claws. Even his aura doesn't exist anymore. If he can't change back, then wouldn't that mean, Yue didn't dare to imagine that if she lived in a world where no one could see her, she would go crazy. Who said I can't change it? Chen Shang suddenly laughed, scaring Yue. Hearing Chen Zhang's voice, Yue immediately looked over, only to see a pair of Chen Zhang's eyes floating above her head. Haha, Chen Shang laughed out loud, and then, he completely revealed his body. Just now, he had only revealed 2 of his eyes. Is everything alright? Yue felt a lot more at ease. At the same time, she inwardly cursed under her breath. She had been scared to death just now. Nothing happened at all. I have to say, this power is really magical. Chen Shang praised. This is a type of counter power, very strange. How so? Yue asked. When I used this power, what happened to me was the exact opposite of what you saw. Chen Shang said, it's very strange, for example I felt very cold just now, but you found out that my body is very hot. If I use this kind of power, heat is cold to me, cold is hot. That's because I didn't control it well, so it became like that. Quote. Now that I can control it, it becomes normal. Otherwise, I really can't imagine how I would be able to live in a normal world in the future. Yue replied, so, you can make it so that no one can see you. Chen Shang nodded his head. Actually I exist, but because it's the other way around, in your eyes, I don't exist, like those starry sky blood devils. This is extremely useful to me, even concealing my presence. Quote. After Chen Shang took out the heavenly magic sword and used the counter power, Yue saw that the heavenly magic sword had suddenly disappeared, but she knew that it was still in Chen Zhang's hands. So sinister. Yue chuckled. What a strange power. Chen Shang laughed. This will make it more convenient for me. Wait until I go back, I will definitely try to see if Peak Divine Lord can discover me. Let's go, continue looking for the Azure Dragon Tomb. At this time, Chen Shang no longer needed the 6 realms mirrors. He directly made himself transparent, and flew around in the starry sky. Yue, I feel that the strange and strong thing that built this mausoleum was formed from the body of these starry sky blood devil. Chen Shang said, so the Azure Dragon's mausoleum must be nearby. Chapter 2298. Chen Shang had heard Wu Ji talk about the creature that built the mausoleum, and how it had such a strange power. Even the undead divine race with that kind of power couldn't tell what it was, which was why Chen Shang thought that the creature was evolved from the starry sky blood devil. The reason why Chen Shang, who was shuttling through the starry sky, had become completely transparent was to prevent himself from being discovered by another wave of starry sky blood devil. In this vast starry sky, there were a lot of starry sky blood devil, and the amount of starry sky blood devil he caught was extremely small. There's another starry sky blood devil up ahead, but they couldn't find me. Maybe I can follow these guys and see where they will go. If they all evolve into that kind of creature, then I might be able to find the location of the Azure Dragon tomb. Chen Shang said, because the Azure Dragon's mausoleum is currently guarded by those things. In front of them was a very long red-colored belt of light, but only Chen Shang could see it using his Dao Heart Eye. It was formed by starry sky blood devil, and he didn't know why they were arranged in such an orderly manner. So many. How the hell did they get here? Chen Shang flew over with a questioning look and followed behind the group of starry sky blood devil. The starry sky blood devil didn't even notice him as he was floating in the starry sky. Their movement speed wasn't very fast, as if they were in deep sleep, and at the same time, they were slowly pulled towards the front by a powerful force. At this time, Chen Shang had already grasped the special powers of these starry sky blood devils and could use them, so he did not need to capture them for concocting pills. Which way should I go? Chen Shang looked at the long line of starry sky blood devils, there were no ends in sight. The reason he was at a loss now was because these starry sky blood devil might be being summoned back, because he had killed a lot of them earlier and the thing that made these starry sky blood devil might have found out. Thus, if they followed the direction of the starry sky blood devil, they might be able to find the place where they built it. At the same time, he guessed that the starry sky blood devil was constantly being built, and the direction they were going might be the designated direction, and the opposite direction they were going might be the origin. Let's head in the opposite direction. Chen Shang smiled inwardly. Having cultivated such a strange counter-power, the decision he had made now was the complete opposite. At the moment, they were in an orderly line with many red figures, so they had to wait in a long line in the starry sky. Chen Shang flew along the line for a few days, and suddenly saw a very large Death Star in front of him. I guessed it right, the source is this Death Star. Chen Shang looked at the black figure in the distance. In the dark Death Star district, it was only a blurry ball of black chi, but Chen Shang had the Dao Heart Eye so he could see the silhouette clearly. What a huge Death Star. I've been a law enforcer for so many years, but I've never seen such a huge Death Star. This Death Star is several times bigger than the biggest one among the heavenly stars. UAA exclaimed in admiration. Furthermore, they were hidden very well. The outer sect was intentionally shrouded in a black fog. There must be something on top of it. Chen Shang nodded his head. If he did not go closer, it would be hard to find him in the distance. Using his Dao Heart Eye, Chen Shang could clearly see that starry sky blood devil's long line was connecting to this huge Death Star. It's very likely that the Star Technique's Azure Dragon's mausoleum is above this. Chen Shang felt that even if he was sure that the Azure Dragon's mausoleum was up there, it would still be difficult to find the thing he needed. With a teleportation, Chen Shang arrived at the mass of black aura emitted by the giant Death Star. As long as he passed through this mass of black aura, he would be able to clearly see the true appearance of the giant Death Star. It's a barrier. After Chen Shang came closer, he said with certainty, it seems to be a very strong protective barrier, and it requires a lot of energy to maintain. This barrier has been in operation for many years. Where did the energy come from? To maintain such a strong barrier, only the core of the heaven stage stars is able to afford it. Quote, could it be that there is a heaven stage stars inside? Chen Shang thought that this was the only way to make this barrier work for many years. He had never encountered such a barrier before. The barrier that he had encountered before was at most a single one, causing him to be unable to move forward. However, the barrier in front of him was able to transform energy into the strength of an iron wall. What a terrifying spirit formation. If it is forcefully attacked, it will be broken through very quickly. Chen Shang used the power of space to teleport in an attempt to break through, but he had still failed. Even my spatial energy cannot break through. Chen Shang was shocked again, and then he looked at the place that was emitting red light, the place where the starry sky blood devil was constantly spawning. He immediately flew over, and discovered that there was only a pinhole-sized hole there, and it was from this pinhole-sized hole that starry sky blood devil squeezed out. Looks like I can only enter from this place. Chen Shang first used the counter power to make himself invisible, then used a divine ability to turn his body into a wisp of smoke, and then pierced through the pinhole-sized hole. After entering, he was stunned by a burst of faint blue-green light. He did not expect that the huge Death Star that was wrapped in a mass of death energy was actually a beautiful blue-green star. This made him feel as if he had not entered a barrier, but instead entered another world. From high in the sky, he could clearly see that this giant star was covered by a large expanse of blue ocean. I really didn't expect this place to actually have a special domain. Yu was also very surprised. She was once the law enforcer of the star law divine realm, but she didn't know that such a huge heavenly star was hidden in such a place. The greater the heavenly star was, the richer the resources it had. None of the several big heavenly stars in star law divine realm were bigger than this. Let's go down and take a look. Chen Shang looked at the long line formed by the starry sky blood devil, and saw that it led to the bottom of the great heavenly star. From high up in the sky, Chen Shang could see a weak red light emitting from the place where starry sky blood devils were constantly erupting. Of course, it could only be seen by using Dao Heart Eye. Very quickly, Chen Shang landed on the ground. He still used the counter power to hide himself. After all, he had arrived at an extremely mysterious place. There was definitely danger here. The air is good, the sun is full, and the temperature is just right. What a place! What was hidden here? To be able to continuously create that kind of terrifying starry sky blood devil. Chen Shang looked at the red line that connected to the sky. An unending stream of starry sky blood devil was being created and sent to the Death Star area that was filled with darkness. Chapter 2299. We'll think about it after we scout around. In any case, there must be other people here, or else there wouldn't be such a powerful spirit formation here. Yu said. Chen Shang nodded, flew into his mouth, and flew towards a direction. At the same time, he paid close attention to the ground below, and not long after, he saw a special god beast. This special god beast had 7 huge tiger heads and its body was also very large. It was like a small hill, quickly chasing down a huge bear. They are all holy level special god beast. Chen Shang said, looks like this heaven stage stars doesn't have as many people as those heavenly stars. This place must have a large amount of resources that have yet to be discovered, it's just that it's too big, I can't find anything by myself. Chen Shang used the counter power to make his body invisible, but the 7-headed tiger beast did not notice him. He had followed the 7-headed tiger because he wanted to see if the 7-headed tiger would be able to catch the giant bear in the end. The giant bear was weak, and it was also injured. It knew that it couldn't beat the 7-headed tiger, so it could only run for its life. After an hour, Chen Shang suddenly heard a dragon's roar, then a red fire dragon appeared out of nowhere. It used its claws to grab the bear's head, and then crushed it to death. Chen Shang did not realize the sudden appearance of the fire dragon, let alone the 7-headed tiger. However, the 7-headed tiger's reaction was very fast. The moment the fire dragon appeared, it started running, but the fire dragon's reaction was even more so. It swung its flaming dragon tail and swept across, knocking the 7-headed tiger into a stone mountain not far away. HMPH, let me do this all day long. The fire dragon turned into a red-clothed female with a fiery hot figure. She put the corpse of the huge bear into her storage ring with a displeased expression, then flew over to collect the 7-headed tiger as well. You only know how to bully women. That group of fellows think that they have some ability, but they feel that it's beneath them to do this sort of thing. They always throw it at me. Fire Dragon Girl took out a large piece of meat and roasted it on the ground, cursing non-stop. There was actually a fire dragon with such strength here, to actually be able to easily kill 2 fierce holy level special god beast, this kind of strength was very strong. Is it the divine dragon race? Chen Shang asked Yue. It must be the divine dragon race, but aren't they hiding on planet Earth Dragon? Why is there one here? Yue was also curious. Aren't you very good at dealing with women? Won't we know if we hook up with her after going down there? Quote. Right now, Chen Shang could only ask the woman about this. He retrieved the counter power, revealed himself, and then descended to the ground. When he landed, it was very quiet, but Fire Dragon Girl was very sharp. He immediately sensed it and immediately stood up to look at him. Who are you? Fire Dragon Girl frowned as she asked coldly, her fists filled with flames. I am. Just arrived at this planet. Chen Shang smiled and said, it's my first time here, so I'm not familiar with it, so I wanted to ask you. Liar, the outer sect has a powerful barrier, it's even very difficult to enter and exit, how can you easily enter? Tell me, who are you? You are not from our dragon race. Fire Dragon Girl's face was full of vigilance, a murderous aura emitting from him. Then who do you think I am? Chen Shang asked with a smile, but he appeared very easygoing. There is only our dragon clan and evil spirit race here. If you are not from our dragon clan, then you are from the evil spirit race. Fire Dragon Girl said coldly, if you come any closer, I will immediately kill you. Get lost now, I don't want to kill things like you in this pure land. I'm afraid your blood will make this place barren. Quote. Don't be agitated, I told you I'm from outside. I'm human, Chen Shang said, have you never seen humans before? Even though I haven't seen it before, I know that humans don't have the aura of the evil spirit race, and you do. Fire Dragon Girl was getting more and more agitated as he roared at Chen Shang, get lost now, or I'll make my move. Chen Shang was very gloomy in his heart. Previously, when he had fused with the counter power, he also had that, evil spirit race's chi. There is a guy in your evil spirit race who has a powerful disguise. Our Dragon Pearl has suffered a few times, don't think about trying to fool me again. The Fire Dragon Girl said again, leave, quickly leave our territory. Chen Shang now knew that this heaven stage stars was already divided into two areas. One was the area of the evil spirit race, the other was the area of the dragons. How can you trust my people? Chen Shang was now even more sure that the Azure Dragon's mausoleum was here, otherwise there wouldn't be a dragon race stationed here. How should I know? But you, how are you going to prove that you're human? As the Fire Dragon Girl slowly retreated, Chen Shang saw a pearl suddenly appearing in her hands. Hey, wait, don't send any sound transmissions to your clansmen. I don't want to get into a conflict with you. Chen Shang suddenly shouted, that's right, does the evil spirit race here know how to refine pills? Divine pills? Fire Dragon Girl asked. They wouldn't, in this place, only the Supreme Dragon Emperor of our dragon race would know how to refine pills. If you knew how to refine divine pellets, or if you possess a divine pill, then it can prove that you are a human being who came from the outside. Quote. Good, tell me, what kind of divine pills do your dragon race have? Let me see if I have any. Chen Shang said. Dragon Yuanshan Dan, do you have it? Where is the bone level Dan? The Fire Dragon Girl asked. These are the most precious divine pills of our dragon clan. I have bone level Dan, but Dragon Yuanshan Dan doesn't. Chen Shang immediately took out a high-rank bone level Dan and threw it over. Look, is this a bone level Dan that you are familiar with? Fire Dragon Girl saw Chen Shang running over, and hurriedly caught it, saying, how do I know if it's a bone level Dan? I have never eaten before, I just ate a Dragon Yuanshan Dan. Quote. Are you deceiving my bone level Dan? Chen Shang was a little speechless. Who wants your crappy stuff? Take it back. Fire Dragon Girl was immediately enraged. She forcefully threw it over, then rushed over, no longer speaking any nonsense with Chen Shang. When Chen Shang caught the bone level Dan, he immediately dodged to the side to avoid the Fire Dragon Girl's Fire Dragon Fist. Even though you possess 95 divine deity, you do not have a single bones. It's a piece of cake for me to kill you. Chen Shang used the bones in his eyes and saw through the Fire Dragon Girl's strength with one glance. You, even if I have to die, I will fight you. As expected of a fire dragon, as explosive as fire, it rushed towards Chen Shang with no regards for its life. Heavenly Dragon Seal, Dragon Subduing. Chen Shang quickly formed a seal with his hand, and a few green dragons flew out from Chen Zhang's body and formed a circular green dragon pattern array, enveloping Fire Dragon Girl, who was completely shocked. Heavenly Dragon Seal, how did you do it? Furthermore, the Heavenly Dragon Seals that have been lost for a long time in the history of the White Dragon clan. Fire Dragon Girl was frozen still, unable to move an inch. Chapter 2300. Chen Shang walked over with a giggle and caressed the smooth and beautiful face of the Fire Dragon Girl, laughing, I already said that I'm a foreigner, yet you refuse to believe me. Die! Fire Dragon Girl roared in anger. He actually dodged it and threw a punch at Chen Zhang's face. Boom! This Fire Dragon Girl's fist carried the flames of an enraged dragon. When it smashed onto Chen Zhang's face, it exploded with a strong flame that blasted Chen Shang flying. Although Chen Shang was sent flying, it was only his face that was in pain. He currently had 16 bones and an extremely strong physical body, so even if the Fire Dragon Girl didn't have a single bones, it still wouldn't be able to harm him. Touch my face, I'll give it back to you. Fire Dragon Girl snorted. Alright, now that we're even, can we have a good talk? Her punch actually did not make Chen Shang vomit blood. She suspected that this fellow before her was really a human, and from what she knew, a human's body was as weak as mud. Just a moment ago, she was still worried that she would beat Chen Shang to death. How did you get in? Our Dragon Emperor said that it would be difficult to get in and out. Fire Dragon Girl's current attitude was much better. She was sure that Chen Shang wasn't from that evil spirit race, otherwise she would have died a long time ago. She could clearly feel the difference between her and Chen Shang. Isn't that the exit from Starry Sky Blood Devil? I used the art of change to turn into a wisp of smoke and then drilled my way in. Chen Shang pointed to the direction in which Starry Sky Blood Devil was gushing out continuously. You can see those things. The Fire Dragon Girl had a lot of questions, and then he asked, the transformation techniques are also a secret of our divine dragon race, and only Bai Long understands. The white dragon lineage has disappeared for a long time. Where did you learn them from? One of my wives is Bai Long. Where do you think I learned that from? She taught me. Chen Shang laughed mischievously. In the past, she always followed me. I miss her a lot too. A while ago, she fell for a black dragon flower poison. I spent a lot of effort to refine a divine pill to cure her of the poison. Then how did you see that? I can only see it with this. Fire Dragon Girl took out a transparent crystal and gave it to Chen Shang. Chen Shang could see the Starry Sky Blood Devil through the crystal. The method I'm cultivating can make my eyes extremely sharp, so I could see that you don't have bones on you. Chen Shang asked, what is this crystal? What our Dragon Emperor has refined is very precious. I only got my reward after killing many strange beasts. Fire Dragon Girl hurriedly put it away. It seemed like the crystal was incomparably precious in her eyes. I really didn't expect that white dragon would actually marry a human. Fire Dragon Girl snorted. That's nothing, you can marry me too. My white dragon wife definitely won't object. She might even be very happy to have a fire dragon sister. Chen Shang laughed. Don't even think about it. Fire Dragon Girl snorted. Also, why do you have evil spirit race's aura on your body? I found a lot of Starry Sky Blood Devil on the way, and then I caught a million or so and refined them into pills to eat. Then, I would have that ability on me. Chen Shang was also very curious. How did you find out that aura on my body? Why didn't I sense it myself? Quote. This. Fire Dragon Girl took out a red pearl. This was originally transparent, but when you approached it, it turned red. Our dragon race have suffered at the hands of the evil spirit race, and they had humans who infiltrated our dragon race, but in order to prevent such a thing from happening, our Dragon Emperor refined this kind of thing. Quote. Chen Shang nodded, closed his eyes, and completely hid the piece of counter power on his body deep within the divine sense sea. It's not red anymore. Fire Dragon Girl was a little surprised. I never thought that you could actually control evil spirit race's power so easily. Oh right, you have the power of the evil spirit race. What abilities do you have? Quote. You get me a little fireball. Chen Shang laughed. Fire Dragon Girl flicked his finger and released a small ball of fire. Chen Shang hurriedly caught it and released the counter power. The ball of fire hit his palm and turned into a pool of water. Reversal. Fire Dragon Girl nodded. This is indeed evil spirit race's power. Then she looked at the bead and it turned red again. Chen Shang laughed. Impressive. Do you want this power? I can go capture some Starry Sky Blood Devils right now and refine them into pills for you to eat. There's no need. If they find out, I will be chased out of the dragon race and treated as a traitor. Fire Dragon Girl immediately shook his head. You have the 95 bones, and will soon be full. With 9 more bones, you will be at the peak. Chen Shang said, could it be that you lack a lot of Dragon Clan bone level Dan? Why haven't you eaten a single pellet? You have 95 divine deity, which means that your talent is not bad. Quote. Speaking of this matter, Fire Dragon Girl snorted, and used the whip in his hand to beat the grass on the ground. I'm a girl, if they don't give me food, they will waste their bones, and they will even say that we're responsible for laying the eggs. You are the god of pills, will you give the bone level Dan to your white dragon wife to eat? It seemed like she was very unhappy about his position in the dragon clan. Of course, she ate my divine pellet as if she was eating beans. She ate the pellet that I made to become stronger. Chen Shang laughed, you can follow me. There are plenty of bone level Dan. Chen Shang liked this kind of beautiful dragon with great potential very much. After bluffing it over, he would give it to LV Kilian. In that way, LV Kilian's hundreds of flowers village would have another powerful divine dragon in the future. By the way, what's your name? Chen Shang asked. Long Paijin, how about you, human? Long Paijin had almost agreed to follow him around in her heart, but she was still more rational. She knew that she still wasn't completely clear of Chen Shang, and she didn't completely believe in his words either. Chen Shang, do you want to return with me to the Dragon Pearl? If you know how to refine pills, our Dragon Emperor might really welcome you. Long Paijin said. Well, I'm going. What will you do if the Dragon Clan bullies me? Chen Shang said worriedly, I'm worried that I might clash with them, so I don't plan to go for now. I just want to ask you, about the evil spirit race, and why are the dragons trapped here? Quote. Chen Shang was very sure that the Azure Dragon's mausoleum was right here. It was just that the star was so huge, and it would not be easy for him to find the Azure Dragon's mausoleum. Moreover, he was certain that the Dragon Clan knew where the Azure Dragon's mausoleum was. They were responsible for protecting the Azure Dragon's mausoleum here. Chen Shang was here to dig a grave. He definitely could not ask the Azure Dragon's mausoleum directly, as that would arouse the dragon race's suspicions.